Good evening. I am here. It is 11:15 p.m. on January 1st, 2025. This is not the first stream I did today. If you were here early this morning, I did some Spelunky runs, and that was fun. It's actually pretty fun. Hello. I am here, as promised. I am going to be starting Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit tonight. Real quick, if you were here for the first stream, for the previous game, there was one accolade that I missed, which was examine the sword and shield on the statue with Agent Lang and Ace Attorney in the first game, episode 5. So I did that on stream, and I got the dialogue, but it never popped. The achievement never popped. It turns out there's 2 times where you examine the statue, and you have to do it the first time. The funny thing is, though, it's the exact same dialogue both times. So there's no reason the game couldn't have given me the accolade for doing it the first time, or the second time, rather. But no, I went back and I did it, and I got the accolade, and that's the only one I'm missing, so everything else here is for 2 and on. So that's all there is to say about that. Continue. No, it's just going to start us from the first game. We have to actually start a new save file. So, back in September, I streamed Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth. My chair is sinking. Whoa! Okay. That's good. So, actually, that brings up a funny memory, because the night I started streaming this was the night I injured myself. And, when I went to get my COVID and flu shots, and I tripped and tore all the skin off my leg and my knee and my hand, which, by the way, still injured. My hand is still red and like, irritated where I scratched it. It is not fully healed. I'm gonna have to go see a dermatologist, probably. Yeah, because of the cursed Oreo drink, exactly. Anyway, this game took place, like 2 months after the end of, like 2 months after the end of Ace Attorney 3. Edgeworth returns to the States from a trip overseas. He solves multiple cases all tied to a smuggling ring, solves the mystery of the Yatagarasu, reconnects with an old friend named Kay Faraday, and they, with the help of Franziska von Karma, Larry Butts, Wendy Oldbag for some reason, and a Interpol agent named Shilong Lang, they uncovered the mystery of the Yatagarasu, as well as bust the entire smuggling ring over the course of like 3 days. So, Ace Attorney Investigations 2, I believe this takes place like a week or 10 days later. It's like right after the first game. This is literally like picking up right where the first game ended. This game is interesting because up until 2024, this never had an official English release. This was the only Ace Attorney game, outside of the great Ace Attorney games, to not get an official release up to this point. So this is the first time it's in English, which is cool. There was a fan translation, which I did play. Supposedly, not much has changed from that. It's just the names, really. But which is great. Yeah, no more Iggy. Well, no, the fan translation used English clips, though. They actually localized it. It was a fan localization, which was really cool. And I greatly enjoyed it. But, yeah, we're going to actually stream it. So this is the first time I'm going to be playing, like, the official English version. And, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say. That's the setup. You've been here. You've seen the other 4 games in the series I've played. Technically 6, because I played the great Ace Attorney games, too. But, yeah, the main thing to know is that this is right after the first Investigations games. This is, like, literally, like, a week later. You know what I realized is the collections are missing Asinine Attorney. Yes, I've been told that, Asinine Attorney is missing from the Spirit of Justice version that's in the Apollo Justice Collection. Also, I just want to point out real quick, in this I had remix music enabled from pre-ordering, or from getting the game early. Supposedly, me pre-ordering it was supposed to get me the remix music for this game, but I never got the code for it, and, Capcom has not made the music available to buy as DLC, so unfortunately you're not going to be getting to hear the remixes here. Unless they were added to the game at some point. I don't think they were, though. I could check real quick just to see, but no. When I eventually get up to Ace Attorney 6, I'll probably find a different way to... I'll find a different way to stream the Asinine Attorney stuff. I don't know why they didn't include those. It's like such a neat little, like, thing. I mean, granted, they're kind of stupid. That's why it's called Asinine Attorney, but it's still fun. And it's content. It's like stuff that should be in the game. I don't know why they removed it. All the DLC costumes are there. Anyway, Turnabout Trigger. The first case of Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit. Let me not block the screen by switching to the human PNG tuber. That's why Karma made this. It's a little jagged on the edge, and it's still going to block some of the stuff, but... Episode 1, Turnabout Trigger. If this gets too loud, let me know. Oh, it's still covering it. Here he comes! The presidential plane descends from the... Shit, hold on. Hold up. Let me, it's still kind of covering stuff. Let me re-enable ghost mode. Filters... Chroma key. There we go. Now I'm partially see-through. We're bringing it back. Unable to take a video capture. Okay. Just listen to that crowd. Welcome, Zhang Fa. Welcome, Mr. President. And now, sir, your audience awaits. Honored friends and allies, I am here today to deliver a message. The odious criminals that dogged my beloved nation are no more, thanks to the prosecutor's office of your great country. You have our most heartfelt gratitude. However, friends, do not forget, the battle against evil rages on. Here today I make you this solemn promise. We shall crush the wicked with righteous hammer of justice. Ah! Uh-oh. Call the prosecutor's office. Get Miles Edgeworth here right away. If anyone can solve this, he can. Look how triumphant this is. We're rolling right into it. This ain't no, like, secret killing in his office. No. International incident within 5 seconds of starting the game. March 25th, 2:46 p.m., Gourd Lake, Spectators Arena area. Not arena. The Spectator Arena. This isn't Smash Brothers. So I think the dialogue we missed right there at the beginning, which is my fault. I apologize for that. It's just about the president landing. So this is the president of Zhang Fa, the country that was besieged by the smuggling ring in the previous game. So it's kind of like rolling right into having the story be connected. Essentially, what the only line we missed is that the plane was landing at Gourd Lake. So this is the area where the fourth case of the first game took place, which just said right there anyway. News must be halfway around the world already. After all, it's not every day an attempt is made on the life of a nation's president. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor. I came as soon as I got the call. The moment the phone rang, I knew it was serious. Mr. Edgeworth! Thank goodness you're here, sir! This is Dick Gumshoe, a detective at the local precinct. He's the one usually assigned to my cases. How is the president, detective? We still don't know, Mr. Edgeworth. The medics just boarded the plane a few moments ago. I see. Hope he's all right. And I suppose you'd better show me to the scene of the crime instead. Right away, sir. Hey! I said hey! You! Ruffles! Yeah. Who's that? You're the prosecutor in charge of this here case, ain't ya? Want to give me your first impressions? Anything strike y'all as odd? No comment. Detective Gumshoe, with me. Come on now, Mr. Prosecutor, don't be like that. Mr. Edgeworth, wait for me! Now, Detective, I'll need the facts of the case in as much detail as you can give me. Look at this dude. Look at this absolutely sculpted statue of a man. Well, the scene was right here at Gourd Lake, as you already know. A bunch of people were gathered to welcome the president of Zhang-Fa. President of Zhang-Fa to visit. Evening edition, Mercurial News. Oh, that's the same newspaper from the last one. Dijun Wang. Yes, I read about his visit. It's been all over the news for days now. Newspaper clipping jotted down to my organizer. It was raining until just before he landed. Luckily it let up and he went on stage as planned. This pic is one edit away from profanity. Yep. Let me see. Do I need to change the records? Or the records? The, settings here? Or is it the same as before? I think everything should still be set normally. Proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. Is the description different in this game? Each prosecutor's badge is engraved with the number of its owner on the back. Numbers. As if we're not human on the inside like everyone else. No, I guess not. This badge's design is set to reflect the relentlessness and discipline of law enforcement. It comes from the authority vested in us as strict protectors of the law, and executors of sentences, much like the harsh winter frosts and blazing summer days. To wear it is to identify oneself as a prosecutor, but I have no interest in doing so. Expect me to scrutinize the dialogue to an unnecessary degree. See, I don't remember most of the script from the fan translation, so for me it's gonna just be, like, whatever. There is text there, but I can't read it. City official in charge of health and welfare said something, something, something. Gobbledygook. Homicide detective from the local precinct who's always the first on the scene at any murder investigation. Dijun Wang, the current president of Zhang-Fa. An attempt was made in his life as he gave a speech at an event held in his honor. Age 58. And then smack dab in the middle of his speech, bang! A gun goes off and everybody runs for cover, terrified for their lives. Apparently. Apparently. Truth is, I only just showed up myself. I don't know a whole lot more than you do, sir. You were summoned on short notice as well. Sure was, right in the middle of my day off. I was at the office taking advantage of the peace and quiet to prepare for my next case. And then the boss himself calls you to the scene. Never a dull moment, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? The boss? Yeah, Chief Prosecutor was right here in the park. Saw the whole thing. First chance he got, he yelled at the top of his lungs. Get me Edgeworth right away. He's the only man for the job. Something like that. I see. Oh, they cordoned the perimeter of the park off as soon as it happened. You'll be happy to know. So our would-be assassin is still here somewhere. Good. 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 Now all you gotta do is find them in the middle of that crowd, before they strike again! You're right, we don't know what else our culprit might be planning. These people are in danger. We don't have a moment to lose. Let's begin with the basics, even though we just did this a week ago. And search every inch of the crime scene for clues, no matter how insignificant they may seem. Precisely. The president was shot at, which means a gun was involved. That's our first clue. We get to use the logic. Put the toilet with the butt, so you know to go to the bathroom. Alright, duly noted. Detective Gumshoe? How exactly was the security detail surrounding the president's speech organized? Well, sir, our officers were mainly focused on securing the perimeter of the park. The president's people took charge of the rest. He has his own team of bodyguards. I just realized I didn't need to, like... I could have just pulled up the history to look at the dialogue that we missed all the way at the beginning. I ruined the opening, but yeah, we can't go that far back. Oh well. He has his own team of bodyguards. See those guys over there? Maybe we should ask them a few questions. If I want to talk to them, I need to walk over and press A, like any normal person would do when talking to someone else. Wait, can I still, how do I... President was shot at. Sir, the president's bodyguards are over there. So they are. Should walk up to the bodyguards and press A to talk to them. Oh, right, walking is with the D-pad. I wonder if this game's still gonna get, like, laggy. That was a problem with the port of the first game. Some scenes where you run around, the game would actually start, like, lagging a bit for no reason. Sir, the President's bodyguards are in front of the plane. Oh, they're not letting me do anything else here, huh? Can I help you? You're one of the President's bodyguards, correct? Could you tell me how his security detail was arranged during the speech? 2 of our senior operatives were attached to the President. The rest secured the stage. This isn't our first rodeo. Anything suspicious in that crowd and we would have spotted it right away. I see. So the President's security was tightly orchestrated for the duration of his speech. Let's investigate further. You speak with other witnesses and continue to look over the crime scene. You can't afford to leave any stone unturned. So that's how y'all go about it, huh? Sure is something seeing the pros at work. Care to share a little about what happens to the information once you got a hold of it? Bystanders. This one seems persistent, but I can't afford to get distracted. Let me just look at this cup on the ground for 5 minutes. This feels like shag carpeting on this stage, too. Wouldn't that be all gross if it was raining? Hey, Ruffles, I asked you a question, dang it! What happens next? Oh, we put the information together and try to find connections, right, sir? Detective! Oh, don't be so hard on the poor guy. So, connections, you say. And? What next? Well, I guess you'd say we connect the dots. Connect one piece of information to the other. It's Mr. Edgeworth's forte. He's a logic master. He's capable of thinking, something that most of us can't do in this game. Can view what information I have with L and connect them with X. I should try it now. Just a quick press of L and we'll be off down the path of logic. We're going inverted mode. Security was tight for President Wang's speech. He was still shot at somehow. President's security detail was on the watch throughout for anything suspicious. And brain blast. Despite the President's tight security, the perpetrators still managed to carry out their attack. Completely undetected by a contingent of highly trained guards, no less. No less. Sorry, I wanted to see. Okay, this is exactly 6 days. Wow, okay, so I was wrong. This wasn't even a week later. The final day of Investigations 1, when the epilogue is March 17th. And now this is March 23rd. So it's literally like 6 days later. Still the same year as the end of the Third Ace Attorney game. So it's still only been like a couple months since that. And it's important because when I move on to the next series, the timeline gets a little like weird. So it's good to establish where exactly we are. No mean feat. This would have taken some serious planning. In other words, the assassination attempt was almost certainly premeditated. The President was targeted during his speech, a premeditated attack. That's the stuff, Mr. Edgeworth. The old logic never fails, huh? Indeed. All we need to do is find the right clues and make the right connections between them. Make the wrong connections, however, and we'll only wind up further from the truth. Which means I must make well-reasoned connections if I intend to draw logical conclusions. Reading too much. Begin investigation. Lakeside stage. Gourd Lake. Let's get this investigation started. Time to examine anything that looks suspicious. To examine things, I simply need to walk up to them and press A. If I wish to speak with the detective, I should press X. Why is this? Whoa, whoa! Was I drifting there? Uh-oh, yes I am. My stick is drifting. Which is convenient for me because I just got a new Pro Controller, actually. So back when I was, during Fastest Furs, I donated, and I actually ended up winning a prize. I ended up winning a controller, so I have another Pro Controller now. So if this controller acts up too much, I can replace it. No. I'm surprised as you are, sir, but there's no mistaking it. It's the Steel Samurai. Steel Samurai, warrior of near old Tokyo. It's a popular TV show. Old, young, it doesn't matter. It truly has something for everyone. Beats me why they had a Steel Samurai balloon at a welcome party. For a foreign president. It's a little odd. Although now that I think about it, what a better hero to represent our nation. Must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. It's the flag of Zheng Fa. Key motif is a blazing red phoenix. Wait, what's this? Something the matter, sir? You don't see it, Detective? There's something unusual about this flag. Compared to the one on the other side of the stage, if you will. Oh, that's a beauty right there. Just look at it flapping in the wind. It's immaculate. Exactly, which is how a flag should look. And yet, here we see quite a different picture. One thing in particular stands out, don't you think? That weird green thing on it, which I didn't realize was a gunshot. A gunshot hole. Right, of course. I give up. Come on, spill the beans. You can lead a horse to water. I'll just have to move the cursor to the problematic spot and highlight the difference with X. This is the problematic spot. It's a pro shipper.
Take that!
Look closely. Do you see the hole? Whoa, look at that! You're right, sir! And note the burn marks around the edges. That's a bullet hole. There's no mistaking it. A bullet hole? So you're saying a bullet went through this flag? You're telling me a bullet fried this rice? It's the flag of Zheng Fa. The key motif is a blazing red phoenix. Wait, what? Oh, it's the same thing. It's just, it was just said differently. Breaks your heart, don't it? It does. What villainy could have befallen him? Witness said he popped right about when the gun went off. Which would strongly suggest that a bullet struck the balloon. Popped balloon. Looks like we got a case of a cold-blooded samurai murder on our hands. This is sacrilege. I won't rest until the culprit has been apprehended. Detective, we cannot let this vile assassin escape. We won't, sir. You can count on it. Saw it floating right over the lakeside stage, but has since been popped. I think I've gathered enough information for the moment. Time to put the pieces together and see what we can figure out. Nothing of interest here. These flowers are in full bloom. They look exotic, but I don't know the species. My favorite flowers are maybe roses? Yeah, roses and lilies. Roses make me think of weddings. Ah, the romance. And lilies, well, that's funerals, I guess. Sad, but part of life, you know? It's no coincidence that both types of occasions tend to feature a free buffet, I imagine. Come on, sir, that's not fair. Cash bar at my funeral. Y'all gotta pay your damn dues to me in the afterlife. It's really dead set on popping a balloon and needle usually seems to do the trick. For some reason, the smaller the poke, the more dramatic the bang. Yes, I know. Trust me, as someone who is often this big, I'm used to being threatened by needles. So the president had a nasty surprise while he was giving his speech. Same thing happened to me when I was a kid, right in the middle of a public speaking contest. There I was, yammering away, when all of a sudden, earthquake! Almost jumped out of my skin! That sounds terrifying. Even the word earthquake makes me queasy. What, you were listening, Mr. Edgeworth? Thought you were ignoring my little aside, like always. What is the officer here taking pictures of, Detective? The wicked will be crushed beneath the righteous hammer of justice. Looks like he's reading one of those papers there, Mr. Edgeworth. Prose speech tips number 3. Speak slowly and confidently to win your audience around. Hey, this is good stuff. Better get a shot of this one, too. Instead of focusing on that speech, how about you focus on your work instead, officer? Have you found anything of note, officer? No, sir. Not a thing. No fingerprints, no footprints, nothing. That is to say, none that stand out, sir. Not after everybody touched and walked all over everything. Detective Gumshoe, did he sound pleased about having no evidence to catalog? I'll speak to his commanding officer about it, sir. Salary review's coming up soon and all. Please don't lower mine. There's a bright red balloon bobbing on the surface of the lake. Reminds me of sending balloon letters back when I was a kid. Can we stop saying balloon? You write a letter, see, then you tie it to a balloon and send it floating off to see if somebody writes back. That's quite an ingenious idea. And did anybody ever write back? No. Kinda need a balloon that actually floats first. That's where your plan fell apart? Dragon scales would be good against being popped. Yeah, I guess so. Statistically, logically, is the president okay? We're not at liberty to share that information with local law enforcement. Sorry, chocolate in my mouth. We're not at We're not at liberty to share that information with local law enforcement. What'd you just say to him? You let us in on that plane, pal. You might just regret it. Sorry, can't let you do that. Oh, no one respects the badge anymore. Suppose this is something of an international incident. All the more reason to find the killer as soon as we possibly can. Oh, that's just a talk thing. Hey, Ruffles, how's the investigation coming along? Anything y'all want to share? Conspicuously squeakier than normal. I'd recommend helium, but, here we go again. I am not in the habit of sharing the details of confidential investigations with strangers. Dang, you sure are one tough cookie. But I ain't about to head back to Chief Lotta empty-handed. Don't I know that name from somewhere? No, must be in my imagination. Yes, sir? Well, the rain stopped, and it was falling right up till the president got here. Even the mist has been lifted. Barely a cloud in the sky. You sound disappointed, Detective. I was supposed to be fishing, right here in this lake, in fact. And the big ones only come out when it's wet. But the park was sealed off for the president's visit. No regular use allowed. You know the rules. Nothing regular about reeling in a whopper, sir. This was gonna be special. I fear our ideas of special might be rather different. Irreconcilably so, in fact. This is what he thinks about at a time like this. About investigating. Detective Gumshoe, you remember how to properly conduct an investigation, don't you? Sure I do, sir. First you gotta gather information. All the intel you can. Examine every nook and cranny. Talk to every single witness. Both of which I can do with A. And if you get the chance, ask him about the evidence. Which means diving into your organizer and presenting it to him. And open my organizer with R. And present evidence with X. Been with you a while, Mr. Edgeworth. I ought to know this stuff by now. Yes, you ought to. First step in any investigation is information gathering. Everything else stems from there. Yep, once you got enough, you could start making connections between all the pieces, right, sir? Connect one piece of information to another, and everything will start to fall into place. Indeed, and to do that, I need to use my powers of logic. I can check all the information I've gathered by pressing L. And I can draw connections between those pieces of information with X. Alright, time to show off your world-class deductions, as always, Mr. Edgeworth. That thing's pretty small. You don't lose it all the time? The sacred symbol of my office? No, Detective, I do not. Guess it's a good thing I'm no prosecutor, huh? I've lost 100 this week alone. I mean, I lose my badge at least that often. That's quite a talent. Good one, Mr. Edgeworth, I think. You weren't showing me that for a reason, were you? Wouldn't know the first thing about it. And yet that doesn't seem to bother you at all. Can't keep up with the Steel Samurai. All the spin-offs, the different versions. Detective, this balloon is clearly based off the original, first-generation Steel Samurai. Anyone with even a passing familiarity with the show should know that. Not me, sir. Sorry. They all got 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth. As do all human beings, Detective. Yeah, but humans don't have silver skin. He's clearly not a man of culture. He doesn't even well, he is hiding it, but... Edgeworth has a power level when it comes to Steel Samurai. Hey, V2. Wet. They're fish, they swim. If you have a dry fish that hasn't died yet, chances are it's about to. Well, here's the question. Is water wet? Or do you just get wet from water? Because we've had this conversation before. Wet is a state of being. It's not something that water just is on its own. You have to come into contact with water to be wet. It's like a fish is wet because it's in water. But, you know, water itself is not wet because it doesn't wet itself. There's no water stuck to the water. That's just water. How am I? I'm alright. Enjoying my last day of, well, my only day off this week for holiday before I go back to it. But trying to keep my spirits up. You know, 3 weeks and I'll be at MagFest for a week. So, yeah. By the way, if you haven't been here lately, just want to briefly say, likely that the entire second to last week of this month, I probably will not be here. I mean, I definitely won't from Wednesday to Monday, but, like, even before that, I might not be around, because of MagFest. But when I get back, I'll be starting FF7 Rebirth. Anyway. Yeah, there's definitely a little drifting going on here. I have to put some deoxit on it. Assassination attempt, flag with bullet hole, pop balloon. That's probably the likely two. There's a bullet hole in this flag, and it seems highly likely the balloon was popped by a bullet too. Oh, voice crack. Which means two shots were fired, right, sir? Possibly even 3. The president was shot at as well, remember? Equally, the hole in the flag and the hole in the balloon could have been made by the same bullet. What we need to know is how many gunshots there were. Alright, on with the Huh? Ruffles! Ruffles! Y'all figured something out, huh? Care to share? Who exactly is she? Why does she keep shouting at us? Rubbernecking, I guess. Seems pretty interested in the case. Come on, give me something here! We do need to speak with some witnesses to find out how many gunshots there were. Fine, let's see if she can tell us anything. This is an anime game, but there are no potato chips to eat, miss. There you all are! Tabby Lloyd, at your service. I'm looking into the case for, well, just for me right now, but... Looking into the case. Miss Lloyd, was it? What, can you... Wait, what? Is there something I'd like to ask you? Well, what can you tell me? Any exclusive details you want to share? Why does she have the une pipe on her sweatshirt there? Or tracksuit? What is that? Yo, that shit absolutely East Une pipe. How about the perp? Have they made any demands? What about them there ruffles? Where does a fellow like you buy a cravat like that?
Hold it!
Will you be quiet for a moment? I'll be asking the questions here. Dang, and here I thought I could get me something juicy for my piece. I need to know about the shooting. Can you tell me how many gunshots you heard? Why, I most certainly cannot. I beg your pardon? I can't just be handing out leads for free. That stuff's my livelihood. Oh, come on, don't hold out on us. We all gotta share sometimes. You share that bear trap on the side of your backpack? Me? Hold out on you? Yeah, there's a bear trap attached to her backpack. Obstruction. Yeah, arrest her for obstruction of justice. Well, if you're all gonna be like that, I'll be moving right along. Goodbye. Wait for what exactly, huh? Huh? If you ain't got nothing for me, I'm gone. We're fresh out of moves here. Out of moves, I wouldn't be so sure. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? As you know, Detective, I like to play a little chess. Oh, we get to do the fun thing for the first time here. And what does one do in chess when an opponent adopts a defensive position? Why, the board offers any number of options, but some are more effective than others. Sorry, sir, but this is all going way over my head. No matter how impenetrable an opponent's defense may seem, it can always be overcome. Watch and learn, Detective, as I shatter my opponent's resolve with the power of words. Not a huge fan of the mechanic yourself, but eh. Yeah, the whole reason this exists is because they wanted... Because, like, the first Edgeworth game didn't have any gimmicks. They wanted him to have something on the lines of, like, the Magatama or the bracelet from the later games. But they didn't want to work it in a way that seemed like magic, since obviously Edgeworth's not really, like, into that kind of bullshit. Even though he's done Psyche Lock stuff before. So, it's like, whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting system that they use here. I also like the localized name of it. It's very funny. When attempting to draw an entrenched opponent, one must employ certain tactics. Let us picture the board, and see if we can anticipate our adversary's next move. Now, we must analyze the state of play. Y'all getting nothing out of me. Not until you give me something in return. With these, spinning chess pieces, my opponent has dug herself in deep. Her defenses won't easily be broken. I could just say obstruction of justice to break them, but I can't afford to try her patience by taking too long to plot my next move. In other words, I must be conscious not just of my strategy, but also the passing of time. That said, I can't afford to waste words either. In fact, it can pay dividends not to. I didn't autoplay, did I? No. If my opponent gets too agitated... If you're fixing to ask me something, will you dang well ask it? Will you dang well ask it already? I may be able to gain a tactical advantage by calmly biding my time. Then, when I see a crack in my opponent's armor, I pounce. I should begin by finding out what it is that she does. Alright, time to make my opening gambit. Mind chess! Commence. What is it that you do? There's a timer at the top. Why don't you begin by telling me what it is that you do? What it is that you do? Sure, I could totally not do that. Think I don't know when to keep my mouth shut? That's my job. Is it now? So you do something you won't or can't tell anybody about? Shut up. I ain't no lawbreaker if that's what you're insinuating. Clearly hiding something. Bide my time. He just stands there unapprovingly. I'm a law-abiding everyday citizen, and you got no reason to say otherwise. Forgive me, I meant nothing by it. Something you can't tell me about, I imagine it must be very important work indeed. Huh? Well, sure, I guess. Leastways, it'll be once I bag my first big scoop. Was that about scoops? Heh. I see, it's a scoop you're after. Like a scoop of ice cream, we could do that. So you're a journalist, is that correct? Bam. Dang! Sure, I'm your friendly neighborhood reporter. Hungriest cub on the beat. That's the mystery of what she does for a living solved. Perhaps our hungry young cub has gathered information vital to the case. Let's make our next line of inquiry that. With the opening moves concluded, the mid-game approaches, excuse me. What else does she have to tell us? What was it called in Japanese? It was called logic chess, which... I know, it worked out. I guess they didn't want the word logic to be, like, used for two mechanics. And that's why they changed it to mind chess. But mind chess just sounds so funny. That sounds like the shit in the Sherlock Holmes, like, Robert Downey Jr. movies. Where he'd have, like, the mental battle with Moriarty while they're just sitting down in the chair next to each other. That's what I think of when I hear the term mind chess. Also, mind hacking, which is from another series that I really want to stream at some point, which is an equally funny term. Where's the record of your reporting? Were you at the scene of the crime? At the time of the incident, were you present at the scene of the crime? Come on now, Ruffles, you ain't gonna give a little tabby something first? Absolutely not. And I ain't giving you nothing neither. Think I'm a sucker? Think again. Hand it over, you're under arrest. That's not the right choice. Don't you see? There's nowhere left to hide. I'm not rightly sure what you're getting at here, Ruffles. Curses. Should have picked my words more carefully. It's more effective to bide my time the more agitated or upset my opponent seems. And when they're vulnerable, that's the time to go on the verbal offensive. Come on, this is my career we're talking about here. You gotta give me something. Sadly, the more you know, the more you might find yourself in danger. I ain't scared. I'm a pro. Takes more than the sound of a little gunfire to faze me. You heard gunfire, did you? Maybe a pro, as you put it, but I'd say you're still a little wet behind the ears. You say you heard gunfire, which proves you were here at the scene of the crime. Therefore, you must have seen something. Double dang. Fine, I was here. I saw it. Came to report on the big speech, wound up reporting on a shooting. And you won't get no more out of me than that. I'm done with your tricks, Ruffles. She came to report on the event. She must have made a record of some kind. A record I would very much like to get my hands on. This is quite the clue as to where to take the conversation next. You're a reporter, which means you must have been making some kind of record. Got more questions? You gotta give me something first. That's the deal. I'm not in the habit of making deals. Now tell me what I need to know. Sorry, Ruffles, can't help ya. Time to deploy my clue. No self-respecting reporter would leave the house without a means of putting things on record. So tell me, Miss Lloyd, where is yours? Of course I made a record. I told you, I'm a pro. Dang near wore my shoes out running around on this one. Which is why I'm not about to just hand it over to the first person who asks me. I'm not just anyone, young lady. I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Don't you young lady me. You ain't getting it, no matter how many times you ask. I'll young lady you as many times as I want. This is obviously a bide my time thing. You understand, don't you, Ruffles? It ain't nothing personal. I understand that your job is a difficult one. You do? Well, ain't that sweet? And in such a competitive field, you must sometimes doubt that you'll ever succeed. No, I'll go plenty far, I'm sure of it. Yeah. Just as long as I got my trusty tape recorder, I'll always be ready to nab me a scoop. Not interested in your tape recorder. Play me that tape. Intriguing. A young reporter hungry for success. So dedicated to her craft that to leave such an important event unrecorded would be unthinkable. And indeed she did not. She committed the entire event to tape. Ah, dang it! This is my scoop you're messing with. My big break! Fine, sure. I recorded the whole darn thing. It's all right here. You got me, okay? Checkmate. My chess. Checkmate. Checkmate awarded. Really living up to the stream title tonight. You're something else, Ruffles. I was trying to be all strong and silent, but you had me singing like a canary. Never mind that. Now play us the tape. They should finally let us know how many shots were fired. Fine, you can hear it, but I got conditions. You played me like a fiddle, Ruffles. Only the Chief ever played me so good. So you gotta agree to be Chief number 2, and be mentor to a rising star, aka me. Chief number 2, huh? Kinda like a second parent. That's a big responsibility, sir. And one more thing. I want exclusive reporting rights for the first 24 hours. Come on, you gotta say yes. What kind of mentor wouldn't give his star pupil the exclusive, huh? She's a difficult woman to refuse, and I do need to hear that recording. 24 hours is more than I can promise, but the story's yours until the case is solved. The job of Chief number 2? Think not. Ah, you're no fun. But I guess a girl can't have everything. All for the sake of the scoop, huh? Alright, got yourself a deal. I got exclusive access starting right this second, Ruffles. Good. Then our first order of business is to listen to that tape. Honored friends and allies, I am here today to deliver a message. The odious criminals that dogged my beloved nation are no more. President's speech. Could probably be a little louder. This music's like not super loud. President's speech. That might be too loud because of the beeping. It might irritate people. Alright. President passionately addresses the assembled crowd, as if trying to shake off the reports of his decline in popularity by sheer force of will. That there's me. Can't beat a little live commentary to set the scene. Meeting is scheduled for just after the speech, correct? Seems pretty pleased to be able to put the whole Yatagarasu situation behind him. He's a second parent, and there's one ship I don't want to touch. Yeah. As well he should be. This is a great day for all of us. Whose voices are these? Oh, there were these two old guys standing right in front of me. They were whispering away to each other the whole darn time. Now their voices from somewhere. Wait, the part where the gun goes off is right after this. The President thrusts his fist in the air as the excitement reaches a fever pitch. The battle against evil rages on. Here today I make to you this solemn promise. We shall crush the wicked with the righteous hammer of justice. What the? Ah! According to the President's speech, 2 gunshots can clearly be heard. So, 2 shots were fired. Shots fired! Yup, and that tells us something? It tells me something. You get the fuck out of here. Something very important indeed. It allows us to deduce the trajectory of one of our bullets. If one of the shots fired, one hit the President, which means the other must have passed through both the flag and the balloon in that order. which, as you can see, allows us to deduce the position of our shooter. The only possible place from which a bullet can be fired through the flag and into the balloon is... So it's these two. So, like, literally right in the center here.
Take that!
Here. Yes, there's no doubt about it. This is where our shooter was standing. You sure about that, Ruffles? Watch your mouth, kid. Mr. Edgeworth's powers of deduction never fail. He takes the evidence, puts it together, and uses his logic. And bam! Out comes the truth every time. This is wrong. Can't we hear the logic behind this one? Well, sir, how'd you do it? Sir? Well, one moment, yes, It's alright, Ruffles. We all make mistakes. Ugh, I picked the wrong spot. I was gonna say the plane, but you can't go up there. Clearly they shot it from over in the water, and then it went, and then bam, ricocheted. So it really wasn't right here? I guess right here on the bridge.
Take that!
Here. Yes, there's no doubt. No. Wow, I'm already stumped. Again, I want to make it clear, I played this game, the fan translation of this game, when it came out in 2014. That was almost 11 years ago now. 10 and a half. Because it was June. I remember the exact time I played it. Because it was like it was the year after I'd quit my old job, and I was just like, man, life is good right now. And then life got very ungood. Are we insinuating that the killer was here on the stage between the two spots? That's the only other thing I could think of. No, that wouldn't make sense because he wouldn't be able to shot the balloon. I guess... Well, there was no one standing here. It's gotta be the left. That's it. Drawing a line between the flag and the balloon gives us the trajectory of one of our bullets. And places our shooter on the left-hand side of the spectator arena. I was doing that. I think I was doing that with my mouse cursor. I think I was just off with the angle. I thought it was in the middle of the, thing. But that also wouldn't make any sense. Bullet trajectory jotted down in my organizer. Extrapolations from the bullet trajectory suggest the two shots fired from the left side of the spectator arena. Area. Why do I keep saying arena? You're a genius, Mr. Edgeworth! Detective Gumshoe, I'll need to examine the left side of the spectator area. Roger that, sir. So you, need me to clear all those people out of the way, I guess? I do. What evidence remains to be found may already be deteriorating. It's already melting into nothing. Look, it's gone already. Gone. Damn it. So I'll need you to be quick about it. Yes, sir! Chief, hey, I'm talking to you, Chief! I suppose you mean me, Miss Lloyd. Sure do. You gotta let me help out. This stuff's my forte. Or my base in English. I'm the best crowd herder you've ever did see. I'll prod, pummel, and push him wherever you like. Very kind offer, but I think a less hands-on approach might be preferable. Also, about this chief business. I am nobody's chief. Whatever you say, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Your wish is my command. Actually, I'm gonna clip that because, it's very funny that he says he's no one's chief right now. When we get later on in the series, that line will be very funny in retrospect. I somehow doubt that. Here you go, sir. It's all ready for you. I just noticed the people in the corner. There's like a gentle swaying motion on them. That definitely wasn't there in the DS version. Also, they got some artifacting going on their edges, their Edgeworths. Oh, look who it is. It's Prosecutor right. Sorry, Prosecutor left. Miss Lloyd here cleared out everybody, just like that. You should have seen it. Oh, you ain't seen nothing. The chief, my other chief, that is, sends him running twice as quick. Sounds like a formidable character. Perhaps I should go easier on the poor girl. Thank you, but you really shouldn't have. All that running around. Your clothes are covered in mud. Allow me to pay for the cleaning. It's the least I can do. Huh? You need my jacket? Oh, don't you be worrying about your pretty little head off about that. It's reversible. All you gotta do is switch it around and alakazam. No more dirt. On the outside, perhaps, when you still have something of a problem with the inside. Ready to get back to the investigation whenever you are, sir. Aren't lawyers on the right side of the courtroom? Depends on the camera angle. We've had this argument before. Where we were thinking, like, oh, the character's on the wrong side. They're on the wrong side in the anime. In the anime, when facing the judge, the defense attorney's on the left and the prosecutor's on the right, which is not correct. In the games, whenever they show the prosecutor on the right and the defense attorney on the left, that's because it's facing the defendant's bench. Because when they show the full shots of the courtroom, the defense attorney's always on the right side when it's facing the judge. So the anime got it wrong, just because they misinterpreted how the game displays the screenshots. Ready to get back to the investigation whenever you are, sir. The crowd has trampled the entire area. We'll be lucky to find any traces of our shooter at all. Begin investigation. Board Lake, spectator area. Spectator arena. Man, the lens is cracked. What am I gonna do? This circuit board's hanging out, the whole thing's spitting sparks. It's like a fireworks show in there. Probably not a good idea to touch it, I guess. Definitely not. Fireworks can be deadly, right, sir? This isn't exactly rocket science, detective. Cameraman is clearly otherwise occupied. Perhaps I could talk to him later. I mean, unless you're playing Case 5 in Spirit of Justice, in that case, the defense attorney may in fact show up on the opposite side. You say you attended today's ceremony in order to gather material for an article of some kind. You bet I did. Ain't the kind of thing that happens every day. And when did the ceremony begin? Right after the rain stopped. We got lucky. It was raining all morning before that. Anyhow, the president's plane touched down right around 1:45 p.m. And the speech started at 2 on the nose. What about the shooting? Must have been about 20 after? So 20 minutes after the ceremony began. Yeah, shots rang out, tearing through the air that only moments before had been alive with cheers. Then tragedy. The president dropped to the floor, felled by an unknown assassin's bullet. It's 2:25 p.m. on March 25th, and I've been reporting to you live from the scene here at Gourd Lake. What was that all about? Sorry, just making some voice notes. Gotta get those ideas down the second they come into the old noggin, you know? And every day you get to report on the assassination of a president, after all. It's dramatic, it's emotional. It's got everything I need to write an article that puts readers right there on the scene. And did the president really drop to the floor? Officers on the scene said his bodyguards escorted him straight into the presidential plane. Hey, y'all can't blame me for getting a little carried away now, can ya? Hold on a second. Oh, okay, there's no time. I was gonna say, she said it was 2:25 and she's been reporting. That makes no sense. If the gunshot went off at 2:20, how was Edgeworth here and up to this point in less than 5 minutes? I think that was referring to like when she finished recording or whatever. Better take any testimony she gives with a good-sized pinch of salt. Stop it, calling me a reporter and all. It's kind of weird when somebody else says it. Still, Tabby Lloyd, reporter at large, does have kind of a ring to it, don't you think? But you are a reporter, correct? Sure am, a reporter in training. What? Have you even had any articles published? Fixing to look up my work, huh? Well, that might be tricky. And yet you call yourself a reporter, nonetheless. Despite the fact that these are obviously grilled. Well, I soon will be, won't I? This here right here is a big old scoop. No mistake about it. What, mistake? No mistake about it. Sorry, I had Krusty Burgers on the mind. And I got the whole thing on tape. Didn't miss a second. And it's all thanks to my trusty mic, and even my even trustier tape machine. It's about to set the journalistic world on fire, just like my mentor before me. You know the Chief Ruffles? My mentor? My inspiration? No, but you have mentioned her, repeatedly. Did I? Can't rightly say I remember. What kind of reporter forgets a thing like that? Well, it's just like the Chief always says. Gotta treat information as irresponsibly as you can. And what kind of mentor says that? Oh, you should have heard her the day she gave me this here tape machine. You be sure and bag yourself the juiciest, sleaziest scoops you can now, you hear? Wonderful. So you're the kind of reporter who sees fire even under the faintest trace of smoke. Now I'm the kind of reporter who puffs on the fire till the smoke about chokes ya. How is that any better? Still can't believe they just handed me the chance to bag myself a real scoop. So it was this article that brought you here today. You bet it was. Been prepping for days now. 2 whole days, in fact. So a member of the media had to rely on the media to find out about this event. Hey, I'm still getting started here in this here business. If you give me a little more to work with next time, maybe I'll be on the scene sooner. Certainly doesn't lack for tenacity. Prosecutor delves into his pocket, and after considerable fumbling, he reveals... sorry. Gonna have to help me out here, Ruffles. Never mind. I guess she knows nothing about that. Hey, you never did pay me for this here vital evidence. Alright, let's get some basics down first. Favorite food? Favorite drink? Oh, it's gotta be tea. Mr. Edgeworth loves tea. Even has his own special blend at the office. Nice. That's my cue to pull out a tea right now. What? And that's the tea, sis. That's my college tea, sis. Well now, so our prosecutor likes to put on airs and graces. Airs and graces, And why is the detective answering on my behalf? Who better, sir? There's nothing I don't know about you, after all. Oh, is that so? Tell me more. Don't you dare, detective. Okay. I like a gun. Bang, bang. Anyway, if you weren't here for Spelunky last night, let me wish you all a happy and fortuitous 2025, even though it is now officially January 2nd for me, but it's not for the most people in this stream, to be honest. Most people here are either on the other side of the world or on the West Coast or closer, but not on the East Coast, usually. Hey, I've heard about those. How come it ain't stuck to your jacket or whatever? Because it's not the custom. It is too. All lawyers wear 'em. I done seen it. So, what's the story with yours? No comment. Guess these legal eagles gotta make themselves feel superior to us regular folks somehow. I'd like to be on the record that I made no such comment. Journalist who attended the president's speech hoping to snap up a scoop. Age 20. Spunky young reporter. This wooden sign looks almost brand new. I imagine it was placed here recently. What's it say? 50 yards to the Gordy Museum, and 70 yards to the... never mind. What's the matter, detective? Just read it, will you? 70 yards to the boathouse. Feels like a million years since that whole sorry affair unfolded. Sorry affair? That's what you have to call it? That little tuffle that you were in 3 years ago that almost resulted in you getting arrested for killing someone? Fond memories, detective. Yeah. Fond memories, sir. Who's running... Fond memories, detective. Awarded. Nice. Who's running that boathouse now that, spoilers for the first game, Yanni Yogi is, Yanni Yogiing all over prison. Well, this is quite the situation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Who is he again? It's Payne, Mr. Edgeworth. Winston Payne. We work together at the prosecutor's office. He's a prosecutor? What brings you here today, Mr. Payne? What indeed? Why, only the invitation by the chief prosecutor himself. His voice. Recognize it from the tape recording. Was he one of the men who was standing in front of Miss Lloyd? And where is the chief prosecutor? He had to leave, I'm afraid. He's a busy man. They let him, and only him, out through the cordon. So he had me summoned on short notice and then left before I even showed up? Rude. Yeah, why? I guess that's... Why is Payne, like friends with the chief prosecutor? Is that why? Is that the only reason he gets to keep his job? Because he's really not good at it otherwise. Television truck appears to be stuck in the mud. Reminds me of the time I pushed your car out of the ditch, sir. Then you just drove away and left me there. Gotta admit, it felt kinda lonely. Did I do that? I think I might have. I can't believe you wouldn't remember doing that. Came back though, Mr. Edgeworth. Only left me there in the mud for maybe 15 minutes. I know you'd never forget about me, sir. Oh, of course I wouldn't. Barring those 15 minutes, anyway. You just imagine him, like, halfway back to the precinct. Oh, fuck, I forgot about Edgeworth. I forgot about Gumshoe. He had to get the Rookie Killer title somehow, unless he got hit by giving bad advice to new prosecutors. Maybe. But remember, the thing was, he was good at his job up until Mia Fey faced him, and then all of a sudden, he lost it all. His confidence, his hair... his connection to his ancestor, Ouchie. Gotta pick through even the trash yourself? Prosecutor's life ain't easy, huh? Yeah, no, it's only offset by the immense millions of dollars I make. Detective Gumshoe? Right away, sir. Like, it's implied that Edgeworth is straight up rich. It's implied that he makes a lot of money as a prosecutor and that he can afford, like, private jet flights constantly. Sneak foreshadowing. Faithful detective scrabbles through the garbage as the prosecutor looks on, his hands unblemished. Oh! Yeah! I just realized what you're talking about there, Ephraim. Wow. That is some really good foreshadowing. Let's see now. Come to Papa, little treasures. Though, to be fair, Edgeworth had Gumshoe do it. Edgeworth's not doing this himself. Is he enjoying himself? Bingo! A popsicle stick! Gotta love the jokes they put on these. Detective. Sorry, sir. Relevant evidence. Relevant evidence. Huh? Think we got something. Good work, detective. Let's take a closer look, shall we? After I burped real quick. By examining a piece of evidence from all angles, we can uncover hidden details, like the fact that we can open this bag up. It's got the same Une pipe on it. Sure can. Just tell me which way you want it, sir. Missionary? Doggy style? You can rotate the item with R. If you want, I can move it closer or farther away, too. You can use L to examine an object up close, or R to move it out for the bigger picture. When you spot something, just say the word. You can point out suspicious areas with the cursor and press A to inspect them more closely. Alright, let's see what we can discover. Very well preserved for something that's been thrown in the trash. Also, I like the idea that it's Edgeworth, or that's Gumshoe holding this, and that when you press L and R, it's Gumshoe walking closer or further away from Edgeworth. This is a document of some kind. Less cover for Lakeside now. Eyes on this area. Rook repositioned in light of Knight's injury. Presidential security plan detail, March 24th. Lead Rook, second Knight. Knight to immediately escort President to plane in case of emergency. Stay frosty. We know who might be in the audience. Knight to King's Rook 6. I don't know. I just realized the reason they call it King's Rook and Queen's Rook is because they're mirrored, and one side is like where the Queen resides, and the other side's where the King resides. I know chess. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, after this game came out, one of my friends and I did start playing chess for a bit, since there's such a heavy chess theme to this game. I've kind of completely forgotten any strategies I learned, but it was a fun game to like put some time into. Right now, I'm all about Rubik's Cubes. I know, that seems like such a step down, but I got a cheap speed cube a week or so ago, and I've been solving it on and off, slowly learning the main algorithm to do it, even though there's more than one, but I'm like learning the basic algorithm to solve it by heart. But yeah, no, I wouldn't mind delving back into chess at some point and trying to learn it a little bit more. That's a fun game to engage with someone on. This is a document of some kind. What are we looking at here? Presidential security plan? It's a diagram of the president's security arrangements. Shows how the president's bodyguards were positioned. It even has his people's names on it. Rook and Knight. So his bodyguards aren't natives of Zhangfa. I heard he uses some private security firm. What's that voice? That ain't Lloyd's. Why not employ people from his own country? I know why not. Y'all want to hear a little Tabby Lloyd exclusive? You really know something. Sure I do. I was over at their embassy not long ago sniffing a story out. While I'm there, one of my sources tells me that the president's got more enemies than you got hairs on your head, including a bunch of bigwigs in the National Police Force. Interesting, so he's unable to trust his own domestic law enforcement. Wonder if one of these enemies could have been behind the attempt on his life. Security plan data jotted down on my organizer. Can we get to the part where we saw the gun in there? What was it doing dumped in there in that bag? I feel like the fact that they're just ignoring the gun, even though it's like super visible, is like really funny. You raise an interesting point. It's a document relating to the matter of national security, which would surely be highly classified. Huh? Hey, there's something else in here. That thing's got a scope on it. My. What's a gun doing in here? Sir, this bag. It's gotta belong to the... Yes, it could well have been disposed of by our would-be assassin. A revolver. Would have taken a lot of nerve to dump it in here amidst all the chaos. They probably couldn't hold on much longer. Could this be the work of a professional? That would explain the security plan, too. I think we need to take a very close look at our latest find. This part is called the grip. I've held a few guns in my time, though they've never felt quite right in my hand. This one is no exception. I'm a sword guy myself. This is a laser sight. It can be lined up with a target to make aiming a bit easier. If I press this here... Yep, definitely a red laser. Could the assassin have used a laser sight to target the president? No, because then the president would have known he had a bead on him. As they say. Oh god, I'm turning into Igus. As they say. 2 spent bullets in the cylinder, matching the 2 gunshots heard on the recording. That proves it. This must be the weapon that was used. I like the accuracy there, keeping the shell in, the empty shell in the barrel. Found the trash on the left side of the spectator area, fitted with a laser sight. 2 bullets spent. Oh, the bag was a real find, huh? Just goes to show, a bag in the hand is worth 2 in the trash. Nice work, detective. Now, there's something else I'd like to ask you, if you don't mind. I need you to take the bag and the gun to forensics and see if they could find any prints. On it, sir! Good set of fingerprints could really help this investigation along. Got the results for you, sir. That was quick. You bet it was. Told the techs it was ultra super high priority. But, they came up empty. And they checked everywhere? Inside and outside, top to bottom, sir. They even took the bullets out of the gun and dusted them. Should have known it wouldn't have been that easy. Payne, you were over here. I can't believe it. Why would you shoot the president? I shot you, President Lincoln. You're dead. Have you been... There's a clip from Seinfeld of Elaine babysitting this really bratty kid, and that's one of the. And he has like a toy gun, and he points it at Elaine and says that. Let me see if that clip's on YouTube. No, it isn't. Looks like this one of the less popular ones. My brother and I thought it was the funniest thing just because the kid so emphatically said it. Like, he goes up to Elaine, like, pulls the trigger on the fake gun, and just goes, I shot you, President Lincoln, you're dead! He's so assertive about it. Then he goes up to Elaine's glass of juice, and he's like, can I have some juice? And she's like, sure, just don't. And then he immediately just pours it in her purse. Which is, classic. Classic Seinfeld. You're with one of the news channels. Yep. Can I help you? Must have footage of the event. Do you mind if I take a look? Wish I could help you, but That might be a little tricky. And why's that, huh, pal? Got some problem with doing your civic duty or something? No, it's just that my camera was knocked over in all the panic. And now I can't get it to work again. That footage would have helped immensely. Just our luck. What the? You look like you need a little help, Mr. Edgeworth. I know that voice. Okay. Oh, I forgot she shows up in this case. Hey, Meme Overlord, how you doing? Also, there you go. Yep, we did see her again, and it was much sooner than you thought. There were people when I beat the first game that were like, we're never going to see her again, are we? Nope. It is always Faraday Friday. And we're playing Ace Attorney Investigations. Why don't you jump out into the spectator area, run out of it, and then run back in it? Doing great? Nice. Honestly, I'd leave you alone for 2 seconds, but don't worry, your hero's here to save the day. That's right, the one and only Kay Faraday. Hero? Only you would give yourself a title like that. So you're not a great thief anymore? Not right now, but it's not like I quit. I'm just on sabbatical in the last 6 days. Taking some time out for some intensive training. Being the second Yatagarasu doesn't come easy. Kay helped me out on a few occasions about 2 weeks ago when I was working a case. Multiple cases. The case of the Yatagarasu, a mysterious thief who appeared and disappeared at will, and who claimed to only steal the truth. She calls herself the second Yatagarasu, the successor to the so-called Great Thief. Not a lock I can't open or a trap I can't escape. And when it comes to stealing, well, I'm still in training, but I'll get there soon enough. What are you doing here, Kay? What do you think I'm doing? I've been enjoying the festivities, of course. I suppose she did mention being fond of such things. And afterwards, I was thinking of dropping by your office to see you guys, but now I don't have to. Good to see you, kiddo. You're as bright and breezy as ever. Hey, Gummy, how you been? You're looking pretty full of beans yourself. That's beans. I was just thinking about that minigame from Salamander County Public Television, where you have to pick the word beans, and the voice just goes, that's beans. That's beans. That's beans. It's okay, are you really here to save the day? Yep. Prepare for your jaw to hit the floor. Best pal in the whole world here only went and... what? Your best pal in the world here only went and... took pictures of the whole shebang. Did you now? Please show them to me. Oh, then you better show them me. Wow, your jaw didn't even drop an inch. What's a girl got to do to impress you, huh? I know, right? Mr. Prosecutor here's about as much fun as a danged toothache. Won't even let me call him Chief. But I'm forgetting my manners. Tabby Lloyd, ace reporter at your service. Nice to meet you, Tabby. You're right, he's no fun at all. This one time, he... You two can chat later, okay? Can I see those photos? Boo! Fine, here. One, I know you follow me. I want to check if you were on right now and say thank you for that. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate the thank you for the follow. I mean, you followed me last night, and I usually will follow back if the other person is a streamer. Because it's always good to help each other out. Right now, personally, I'm after hitting a follower count goal. Like I'm aiming for 750, and then I'm gonna be aiming for that's subs. I should probably remove that because no one's been subbed to me, and now I'm losing points. So just going back down. How do I make it go back to the other goal widget? Whatever. We don't need it. It's fine. Thank you. Given the rate I've been gaining followers the last year of streaming, I feel like I'm gonna be on track to hit at least 800 or so before the end of this year. But it could, can't really predict those things. Took this one right when the gun went off. So, okay, right away. That means the first shot went through the balloon and the flag. And we got the laser sight on the president's head, so it was used. And there we've got two guys, one of whom has his hand suspiciously behind that suitcase, which I'm assuming is for protection. I guess he's got a gun. Took this one right when the gun went off. Hey, Razu, how you doing? It was total chaos. People running everywhere. President and his two bodyguards. The names on the security plan were Knight and Rook, I think. What's that? Thank you indeed, Kay. I think you provided us with a vital clue. Howee, your eyes just lit up like a pair of dang Christmas trees. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, care to tell the readers what you spotted? Contradiction. Huh? What now? I don't see nothing strange. Allow me to show you. This picture shows the moment of the incident, but another piece of evidence shows something different. Need to highlight the point of contradiction, and employ my powers of deduction. First to find the contradiction in the photograph. Yes, this is it. I'll simply press X to make my deduction. The fact that they actually, like, tell you where it is the first time this time around. Now to present the evidence that proves the contradiction. Look closely at the picture of the president in this newspaper clipping, if you would, Miss Lloyd. Now look at Kay's photograph. Compare the two carefully. Huh? What am I looking for here? Well, I'll be... Indeed, there's something on the president's forehead. Something that wasn't there in the other picture. What is that? Some kind of birthmark? Yeah, guy's got a big red birthmark right in the middle of his forehead. Are you all stupid? I mean, Kay may not be, because she wasn't here when I found the gun, but... highly doubt a birthmark just sprang up there since the other picture was taken. Did you get bitten by a bug then, maybe? Yeah, that's it. That's a big old bug bite right there. And here, I thought it was something important. The look on your face. Proof you should know, but the road to the truth is paved with just such seemingly trivial details. Oh, again with that face. Alright. Duly noted, Chief. Kay's photograph added to my organizer. It's almost like there was a laser sight in the gun. Yep. I'm good, just relaxing. I have coffee, ice cream. You look a bit different. Did you do something with your hair? I'm both human and I'm dead apparently because I'm transparent. I did that if you weren't here during the last Ace Attorney stream game of the first investigations. I make my PNG tuber transparent, semi-transparent, because otherwise some of the text boxes get obscured, especially when I'm using the bigger ones. But also Carmen made this human form to use during Ace Attorney specifically. It's got I have like the Magatama around my neck and everything. I actually do have one of those in real life too. A big costume, Magatama. Voice crack. What did Maya do this time? It looks good, thank you. Well, thank Karma. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you like my big entrance? Bet I really am your hero now, huh? Well, your evidence helped things along, certainly. Hey, I'm the second Yatagarasu, remember? All the day's work. Kinda wish I could've showed you how far I've really come with the whole Great Thief thing, though. The training you mentioned. About that. Don't worry, I haven't stolen anything yet, I promise. It's been 6 days since the last time you saw her. Because she was there in the epilogue. So the whole Great Thief thing was just on hold. For now, anyway. That's a relief, I suppose. Yeah, want to get out there and start stealing back the truth like my dad. But I've still got a ways to go with my training, and I need to find some partners in crime. Hope she means that figuratively. Can't be the only girl in the world looking to pull off the most daring heists ever attempted. True, but not many people are looking to pull off a career in larceny either, I'd wager. Yep, no doubt about it. If you compare the pic I took to the newspaper clipping, the red birthmark stands out like a sore thumb. That's a contradiction, alright. Indeed, though I very much doubt it's due to a birthmark suddenly appearing. Oh, that reminds me. Might have to steal that line of yours. The road to the truth is paved with seemingly trivial deaths. Funny, I don't remember that being the exact sequence of words that I used. Why just rob a house when you could rearrange the furniture, too? You may call it rearranging, but I call it irretrievably corrupting. That's a cool badge. Very severe. As it should be. After all, it symbolizes both the sanctity and the strictness of the law. Yeah, well, my badge symbolizes, love, justice, peace, courage, duty, and compassion. And what about your beloved truth? That red dot. Wait, I know what it is. Some prankster must have snuck up while he was sleeping and... So you're saying that this picture's irrelevant, that it's worthless as a piece of evidence. Hey, it's anything but worthless. After all, I took it, and taking things is what I do best. Self-styled great thief and so-called second Yatagarasu is always looking to bag the greatest treasure of all, the truth. The truth. Times. Age 17. Thought you meant you had a little like fursuit outfit IRL. What? I mean, I do have a fursuit IRL. I just never wear it because I outgrew it while we were still working on it. I'm too fat. Also, it was never fully completed. We were doing work on it. I bought a used suit from someone, and we were reworking it in my persona. And we mostly got it, but like there's still a few issues with it that just don't work right. So, and my friend stopped working on it because she just didn't have the room to keep it in her house. So now it's sitting in my room in a giant bag that I have no idea where to put. Very in character to outgrow your suit. Damn it, yeah. Yeah, it is. To be fair, I could still fit in it. I just have to remove some of the leg padding, I think, because it has like big thick bird thighs on it that use pillows. So I'm gonna have to remove those. What are we doing now? We're putting logic together, right? 6-shot revolver, laser sight, red birthmark. I've solved the mystery of the red birthmark. Really? So it wasn't a bug bite? Nope. What we're dealing with isn't something that would itch for a day and then disappear. It is, in fact, the beam of a laser sight. Then our killer was aiming to shoot the president square in the forehead. And shortly after this picture was taken, a second shot ran out. And that's gonna do more than itch. Indeed, I fear the president may be even more danger than we thought. And that gun we found was a weapon used in the crime. Man, these people are a bit dense sometimes. Yeah. Edgeworth's like the only one that doesn't act dense, but then you still have to answer for him. So if you don't know the answer, then guess what? He looks like an asshole. Fitted with the laser sights, 2 spent bullets used in the attempt. Why would the perp use a laser sight, though? He's right. You stand out like crazy using something like that. Pew pew pew. It's not like you just go around shooting lasers all over the place. No, and anyone who saw it could trace it right back to the shooter. Seems like a pretty bad idea all around. I almost forgot. I took a couple more photos. Maybe the laser sight's in one of them. It's a long shot, but it's worth a look at least. Alright, Kay, let's see the other pictures. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Let's see. First up, here's one I took just before everything started going south. Might be more useful to us if half the frame wasn't taken up with your face. Anyone suspicious? Oh, well, there's Payne, and I'm guessing that's the chief prosecutor, right there. Man, they must have hired an old dude after Alana Skye got sent to prison, huh? So where's Tabby then? Wasn't she right behind these two dudes? Old person. It's so blown out. Positions look fine. Nothing off there, outside of Prosecutor Payne talking to the chief prosecutor. Hey, can you blame me for wanting to get a selfie with the president? Now I could, absolutely. No wonder people can freely just accuse someone else of murder every other Tuesday, if you're Maya every afternoon, yeah. Like the laser pointer in Payne's back. Wait, what? Oh shit, you're right. I did not notice that because my PNG tuber's cut. Look, you can't see it behind the PNG tuber. This is why I make myself transparent and small. I wouldn't have seen that because of the PNG tuber. I knew the dude in the red hoodie was suspicious. Lucky for you, this was right before the gun went off. And this one I showed you before is right after the first shot was fired. Second shot came just seconds after this. Then there's... What's this? I could hardly see anything. I got knocked over when everyone started running right after that last picture. Guess I must have pressed the shutter by accident. Not sure this one's gonna be much use, kid. I mean, the guy in the red hoodie's there. Yellow can conceal other colors, yep. And that's all of them. 3 photographs taken before, during, and after the shooting. Time to take a closer look. Let's examine this picture from before the shooting. Is there any hint of a laser sight in this picture? Oh, yeah, there is, right there.
Take that!
There, I see it. What is it, sir? What is it, sir? Look closely at the person with the red blood. With the red hood, excuse me. Everyone has red blood. This isn't Homestuck. Everyone has red blood. Whoa, there it is. Indeed, that's our laser sight right there. So that's our perp. The one in the red hood must be... the shooter, yes. We found them, all thanks to yours truly. Indeed, you led us right to the greatest treasure of all, Miss Great Thief. The truth. May have captured our would-be assassin on one of your other pictures, too. Let's take another look. Red-hooded suspect could be in another one of these photographs from after the shooting. Is the person with the red hood here somewhere?
Take that!
Look, right there. A red jacket. That must be our suspect. Looks like they took advantage of the confusion to make their getaway. Luckily, we could see exactly where they were headed. Ah, the samurai dog stand. Precisely. Which means they escaped towards the right-hand side of the spectator area. Detective Gumshoe? On it, sir. Consider it cleared. Good. I'm counting on you. Huh? Did I freeze? I think I froze. That's creepy. Yeah, I froze. Wow. We have you now, my little Red Riding Hood. That's kind of a creepy thing to call them. The entire park is cordoned off, and we know which way you went. Now it's simply a matter of hunting you down. Now, let us continue our investigation. There's evidence here somewhere. All we have to do is find it. Is there no way you can recover the footage you lost? No easy way, no. Sorry. How come? You can't even get a little bit of it back? Not even a few seconds? I'm not thrilled either, buddy, but the tape's completely busted, okay? Completely busted? Afraid so. Those people trampled it into the dirt. Man, my director's gonna kill me. There we go. Banner advertising the raffle range has fallen over. Must have been knocked over in the crush. It's covered in footprints, too. Crowd must have really panicked. Hey, know where I could buy one of these? Why would you wish to? Don't tell me you're thinking of writing Gumshoe on it and wearing it on your back. What? How'd you guess? Are you a mind reader, sir? Is that it? It was a joke, but I should have known that nothing's impossible when it comes to the good detective. What's that say? Rifle range. Oh, the rifle range, not the... I thought it said raffle range. What the hell's wrong with me? There are toy rifles lined up along the counter. Oh, a rifle range. I'm good at these, sir. A regular sharpshooter. Thought you said you hated guns. Oh, I don't hate them. I just don't really like them. Isn't that basically the same thing? I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. There's something red down there. Detective Gumshoe, can you see what it is under that stand, please? There's something down here, alright. Let's see. A red raincoat. This must be the one the suspect was wearing. They must have taken it off and hidden it under there before they made their escape. Seemingly discarded by the person in the red hood, found under the samurai dog stand. F- on hiding evidence. To be fair, I don't think they were trying to conceal it. I think they were just trying to keep it there while they were making their getaway. They knew it was going to be found. What's this? A red button. Hey, you don't think... Seems it was torn off something, found in the samurai dog stand. Could have been dropped by a red-hooded suspect? Yes, it certainly seems likely. Nothing of interest here, except the hoodie. There's nothing unusual about the left sleeve. Nope, it's not inside out and the button's still attached. Seems entirely too neat to have been removed in a hurry and thrown on the ground. The sleeve, it's inside out. The button is missing too. I don't believe there's any more to be found here. says samurai dogs. Now it's Sakura relish, just in time for spring. Sakura, huh? What does that taste like? Well, Sakura is a cherry blossom, so I guess maybe cherries? But blossoms are blossoms and cherries are cherries, sir. They're totally different things. You're right, I suppose. So what does Sakura really taste like? This is my kind of mystery. I mean, there's petals right there on the ground. Why don't you just eat them? Maybe. It does slow down the investigation a bit. Yeah. Regarding the hoodie being under the stand, I guess. It's a flimsy-looking food stand made of plywood, and it sells samurai dogs. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I got $1.50 if, you're not actually suggesting I subsidize you eating on the job. Oh, I didn't mean to. That is, maybe when we're done? Fine. We have finished investigating. You can have one. And only one. Understood? Sorry, sir, I never should've... Wait, did you say I could have one? Yes, why, is something the matter? No, it's just I wasn't expecting you to. Thanks, sir. Poor Gumshoe. He can never afford any type of food when he's out and about. It'd be a shame if I renegotiated the salary. It's the hand of the steel samurai balloon, or rather the fan in the hand that's holding it. Mr. Edgeworth, there's no dying message, sir. Why would there be? The president isn't dead. Not from the president, from the steel samurai. Let me break this to you gently, detective. The steel samurai here is just a balloon. But you've said it yourself 1,000 times. Every piece of evidence has a tale to tell. Which means the steel samurai must have something to tell us, too. Dare I delve into what else you've misconstrued? Alright, everyone said all they could here, so let's puzzle it up, baby. The button we found seems to have come from this raincoat. Must have been pulled loose when the killer took it off. Huh. Right sleeve's inside out, too. Seems it was removed in a hurry, fast enough to tear a button off, no less. Surmised our assassin disposed of their gun and bag in the trash immediately. Excuse me. I surmise our assassin disposed of both their gun and bag in the trash immediately after shooting at the president. They then slipped into the panicked crowd and moved from the left to the right side of the spectator area. This was because they knew the trajectory of the bullet would point to a shooter on the left side. Finally, they removed the raincoat and hid it under the samurai dog stand. The killer would have needed to get rid of the coat as soon as possible, hence its hurried removal. The fact that the right sleeve is inside out is a testament to how quickly it was taken off. Yep, that and the missing button. Question, of course, is, why didn't the same thing happen to the left sleeve? Oh yeah, only the right sleeve is inside out. Indeed, and the button on the left sleeve is still securely attached. The suspect will be in Borginia at this rate. So what does that mean, Mr. Edgeworth? For to answer that question, detective, we'll need to inspect the raincoat in more detail. Let's take a closer look at the inside of the raincoat. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. Blood. Right sleeve is inside out, and you can clearly see where the button was torn off. Yes, whoever discarded this raincoat did so in quite a hurry. It's a bright red raincoat, sir. Red as red can be. Sight of it's getting me kind of fired up, I gotta say. Quite the raging bull, aren't you, detective? That's me, sir. Always ready to charge into action. Yes, or to my defense. This is a bloodstain. And considering where it's located, I'd say the blood belongs to our would-be assassin. Hey, Ayla, thank you for the raid. How you doing? What are you streaming? Goated game. Thank you, Izana. Oh, you're doing bug snacks again? Or did you not change this category? Ooh, my nose is running. Sorry. Thought I changed the category. Oops. No, it still well, it just says... The only thing it says when I'm looking is recently streamed categories, bug snacks. You were playing Infinity Nikki. Oh, okay. Did she infinity all over those fools? Did she say it's infinity time, and then infinity all over those fools? So we're looking for someone with an injury. Yes, great. Not just any injury, Detective, an injury on their left arm. Huh? How do we know that? It's simple. The right sleeve is inside out, suggesting that the suspect removed the raincoat in a hurry. Conversely, the left sleeve is just as we expect it to be. Therefore, the suspect's left arm was never in the sleeve in the first place. And once we understand that, everything else falls into place. Now, Detective, there is a blood stain on the left side lining of the raincoat because the suspect's arm was too injured to fit through the sleeve. Precisely. Or at least we could say that there's a good probability that that was the case. Blood inside. The person who was wearing it must have injured their left arm. Pieces are starting to fall into place. Detective Gumshoe, I need you to go and search the crowd for likely suspects. Yes, sir. Suspicious characters with injured left arms coming right up. You're even smarter than you look, Ruffles. Taking them all in itty-bitty pieces and putting them together like that. You'll have your man in no time. That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. Park is still cordoned off, so our would-be assassin should be in that crowd somewhere. Don't let me down, Detective Gumshoe. March 25th, 3:27 p.m. Gourd Lake. Spectator area. Probably would have rated to watch this early, but didn't realize you were streaming. Oh, it's alright. Didn't get a notification to see your stream manager on your phone because the game was using up all your system resources. You had everything maxed out with ray tracing. Whoa. But at least I could still stream the game smoothly, just couldn't have anything else open on the PC. See, for me, I'd have to lower it then. My PC is still pretty high-end, but, it's getting to the point where I definitely have to, take some quality dips here and there to make sure everything's running okay. I think it might be time to consider getting a new PC in the next... Maybe not the next year or two, but, before the end of this decade. I'm definitely going to need to get a new one. Because I don't think this one's not that upgradable, honestly. I could, but I would need to get a whole new case for it. Because the hard drive case I have, or the CPU case I have is just... It's too small. It's a, it's an Omen. What is it? What's the brand? I don't remember who makes the Omen. Whatever. Surprised the game ran as well it did for you. The only issues I had were some stuttering because the game expects an SSD, but you had it run on an HDD. Mr. Edgeworth, we found someone who fits the bill perfectly, sir. Way to nab the assassin, Gummy. Hold on, Kay. It's a little too soon to be jumping to conclusions. For the moment, they're a person of interest and nothing more. Understood? Okay, no jumping. But he's our shooter, sir. I'm sure of it. He's the guy who tried to take out the president. In broad daylight, surrounded by a crowd of witnesses. This is no ordinary assassin. Bring him over here, Detective. Carefully. Yes, sir. Come on, boys. You heard me, You heard Mr. Edgeworth. This guy looks kind of familiar. Also, the music suddenly got very GBA quality. Interesting. Wonder what that means. No umbrella, and a bandage on his left arm. Well, pal, state your name already. That looks like a smiley face on the ice cream. I just realized it's a cherry. I was like, oh. Because it matches the monocle. Well, pal, state your name already. Doe. John Doe. Charmed, I'm sure. John Doe. Not a name you often hear in real life. That's correct. I know this man from somewhere, I'm sure of it. And you are Prosecutor Edgeworth. You know my name. Of course. I've been following the day's developments with some interest. Now, perhaps you care to explain why you've asked to speak with me? I love Edgeworth, the GOAT. Hell yeah. Edgeworth's great. As you've been following our investigation, you're no doubt already aware of who we're looking for. So let me ask you, do you recognize this raincoat by any chance? Forgive me, but I'm afraid I do not. I see. Well, I believe the owner to this would-be assassin... I believe its owner to be the would-be assassin we are seeking. My, well, isn't that just shocking? This same would-be assassin happens to have an injured left arm. Just like you. All I can tell you is that I had nothing to do with this unfortunate affair. Two adversaries stare each other down, like their eyes like deadly lasers. Care to tell the readers what happens next? A showdown, that's what. Battle of wits. A battle of words. Dare I let him explain any further what he thinks of this upcoming battle will entail? Sure, let the man blather on. In a battle of wits, you never know if or when the other guy might be lying or just plain mistaken. But if you spot any inconsistency in a statement of theirs, you gotta present the evidence that proves it. And to do that, I'll first need to open my organizer with R and then press X to present my evidence. And what if there's no inconsistencies to find? Then you change tack. Press for more information and see what you could shake loose. Indeed, I could press my opponent with L. Why don't you show us how it's done, Mr. Edgeworth? Stepping up to the bat, our nation's top prosecutor. Once I'm able to quietly gather my thoughts, yes. Doe's deposition. It's wild how we're an hour and a half into an hour and 40. Guy's perhaps the scariest character in the series. I wouldn't say that. For reasons. It's wild that we're an hour and 40 minutes into this and we're only up to the first cross-examination. They introduced mind chess before they introduced the basic formula of the series. The one thing that's in every single game. Cross-examining. Doe's deposition. I can understand why whoever wore that raincoat would be of interest to you. But you have no proof that this person is injured as you claim. My left arm may be injured, but I can still use my right. When it started raining, I simply opened my umbrella. No raincoat required. How cold is it? 'Cause it's the middle of March right now. So you contend that you are not wearing a raincoat, is that correct? It is, and is that so strange? Not everyone wears one, after all. I happen to prefer an umbrella. Team Raincoat over here. They're perfect for when a girl really needs to move. Heck, I don't use neither. Come rain, sleet, snow, or shine, it's my trusty parka every time. Not exactly the line of inquiry I was hoping to pursue. So you see, I am not your would-be killer. And I am not in the habit of making baseless accusations, Mr. Doe. Please, I am just a simple ice cream seller. Oh my. Forgive me. My wound seems to have begun bleeding again in all that excitement. The owner of the raincoat is definitely our assassin. And said owner has also injured his left arm. I'm on to you, Mr. Doe. It's only a matter of time. Excited to see all the changes from the fan translation of this. Apparently, not a ton. Outside of the updated voice clips, like the official voice clips and the updated names, I don't think much is different. The script is apparently very, very similar to the fan translation. So far, only big differences. President's name is Dijun Wang. I don't remember what his fan translated name was. And the reporter girl is named Tabby Lloyd. John Doe, unknown age, an ice cream seller who's currently my prime suspect. He certainly ticks all the right boxes. Still not a fan of using the R stick to move the pages here. I'm used to L and R being what switches this. And then, but I mean, same as the last game. I understand why whoever wrote... Okay, we already read all this. That's going to be happening a lot. She was Nicole Swift in the fan translation. I guess that works, but see, the thing is, like, I don't mind the names being more pun-based in this, because that's what they always are. Tabby Lloyd is a perfect name for her, especially when you consider who her boss is. Lot of heart, Tabby Lloyd. They both form, you know, phrases or words. You have no proof that this person is injured as you claim. That is absolutely untrue. We do.
Objection!
You seem like a careful man, Mr. Doe, but not quite careful enough. After all, you left something behind. Something of vital importance. I'm afraid you must have me confused with somebody else. The coat does not belong to me. Or do you claim to have some kind of proof to support your accusation? Your arm isn't troubling you too much, I hope. Your wound seems to be bleeding again. Oh, there is blood on it. I'll survive, though I can't pretend it's not something of an inconvenience. It's also weird to see active bleeding happening in an Ace Attorney game. I mean, I guess you see the dead body in the very first game. form more blood under it. You have my deepest sympathies, because if it wasn't bleeding quite so badly, you could have perhaps made a clean getaway. What exactly are you insinuating? As we've already established, whoever wore the raincoat is injured, and now I can prove that person was you, with this decisive piece of evidence. I like how not only is the ice cream melting, it's melting with the same consistency as the oil sweat drops from when he used the transceiver in Justice for All. It's like the exact same consistency in terms of how big it is. Look at that melty goop. You see, Mr. Doe, there's a small amount of blood on the inside of the raincoat. Blood that belongs to our assassin. I like how slowly it fell back down. Attempted murder of a foreign leader, causing a diplomatic incident? They'll book at you. You give us the silent treatment all you like, but we don't need you to talk. Simple blood test will give us the answer we require. All it takes is for us to compare the blood in your bandages with that on the coat, and that will be that. We have the evidence. Why don't you make it easier for all of us and come clean? Admit that you were the one who attempted to assassinate the president of Zhang-Fa. Genius sprites, yeah. I am not your assassin. You're stubborn, I'll give you that, but if this were a game of chess, you would already be in checkmate. Now do the honorable thing and admit defeat. Doesn't look like a man with no moves left to play. Very well, you have me. I'll admit it, I was wearing the raincoat. He confessed! Say the word and I'll slap the cuffs on him right now! But I did not shoot at the president. What? Mr. Edgeworth, the only thing you have proven is that I was wearing a particular raincoat. And as far as I'm aware, that is not a crime. Edgeworth is so extra. He has to be. He's the only one with common sense around here. Doe's deposition, part 2. I am no assassin. I'm a simple ice cream seller. One who happened to be wearing a red raincoat while watching the president speak. I was as surprised as anyone when his bodyguards sprang into action and the shots ran out. That's when the spectators panicked and started running and screaming for their lives. Now, are you finally satisfied that I'm telling the truth? As if. Your story stinks. You don't scare me. The evidence is on our side, you know. On your Twitch dashboard, you're apparently streaming for 8 hours. Doesn't sound right. I would have seen you streaming then, because I checked earlier today. Am I frozen again? No, I'm not. Look, it's right there, plain as day, the assassin, and they're wearing a red raincoat. Intriguing, but that is not me. Oh, come on! Tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, do you really think I was the only one in the entire park wearing a red raincoat today? I do, actually. But then why? Why does he seem so sure of himself?
Hold it!
A simple ice cream seller, but a knowledgeable one, I assume. On the subject of ice cream, at least. But of course, ask me anything you wish. I don't know the first thing about ice cream. How? You know what the, most important thing about making ice cream is, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, the most important thing is about making ice cream is approach it with a virtuous heart. And what does virtue have to do with anything? Without proper reverence for the craft, I'm afraid all you'll ever make is sweetened crystals of ice. There, hope you now see. I'm nothing more than an ice cream seller. Linux and Windows handle time differently. So time gets bugged out when I boot into Windows and stuff like that happens. Taskbar currently says it's 6 a.m. Wow.
Hold it!
Why a raincoat? Why were you not using an umbrella? Is that so strange? It was a rainy morning. Most people were wearing a jacket of some kind. Well, I'd say it's a pretty strange choice considering you couldn't get one of your arms into it. Better than have one of my hands occupied by an umbrella. I had ice cream to serve after all. Then why go to such lengths to avoid testifying to that effect in the first place? Forgive me, I simply hadn't remembered until now. It's been an eventful day, after all. Eventful? Well, I hardly know what else to call it, Mr. Edgeworth. The president of Zhang-Fa was shot at. I was as surprised as anyone when his bodyguard sprang into action and the shots rang out.
Hold it!
So you saw the bodyguards move before you heard the gunshots. Yes, if I recall correctly, they moved first. At least, the one on the left did. You're rather observant, Mr. Doe. I am blessed with keen eyes. That I never open. Names of the bodyguards are written in the top left corner of the security plan. And the one on the left was Rook. That's correct, Bastion Rook, I believe. I expected he noticed the light from the laser sight. The man is no amateur. Mr. Doe knows a little too much about the business of being a bodyguard for my liking. I'd say our friend here is no amateur either. I'd like you to append what you just said to your testimony, if you don't mind. As you wish. The bodyguard on the left, Bastion Rook, was it? Was especially quick to respond.
Hold it!
The bodyguard on the left was the first to move. By the smallest fraction, yes. He reacted quite admirably, swiftly. His name was Bastion Rook, did you say? It appears you've assessed the situation quite astutely. No more so than anybody else, I'm sure. He's good. He didn't even flinch. This game takes place the week of your birthday. Forget if one of the cases on that date skips it over the 26th. It might. What day is it now? Actually, can't remember. It's 6 days after the end of the first game. And it's the 23rd. It's the 23rd right now. And it's, 2019. So you would have been, what? Late teens? It's the 24th, oh. That's when the spectators panicked and started running screens for lives. Would have turned 20 that year. So you yourself didn't start running and screaming. I was hardly in a position to. Oh yeah? And what position were you in? One of extreme pain. Somebody bumped right into my wounded arm. Hard. You turned 20 that year. Huh. So I met you when you were 18 then. That's weird. It feels like I knew you earlier than that, but I met you in... I think I met you at the same time I met a bunch of people that I'm, like, really close friends with now. All, like, within the same few months of each other. It was, like, mid-2017. So that would have been after you had already... after your birthday, I believe, at that point. I don't know why I know that. It's just a weird thing, because, like, 2017 was such, like, a vivid memory of my life, because that's when, I was streaming during that. There's streams of me talking about things were going on back then. That was when I had the temp job, I got the Switch, and then I had, like, a bunch of money for a couple months, where I was just able to live comfortably without worrying about money. That was fun. Anyway, one of extreme pain. Somebody bumped right into my wounded arm, hard. It was excruciating. Thought my eyes would pop out of my head. Yeah, well, clearly they didn't. Of course they didn't, Kay. In any event, the shooter was wearing a red raincoat. We have photographic proof of that, and yet... Mr. John Doe here swears it wasn't him. Gameplay skips over the 26th, but it does have... There's story-relevant stuff on that day. Really, that feels like a long time. I feel like this game was quicker than that. This guy's lying through his teeth, I tell ya. No one gets away with disrespecting Mr. Edgeworth, pal. Not on my watch. Calm down, detective. We will get the truth out of him by catching him in a lie. Yes, let's keep at him. He'll let something slip soon enough. Oh, there wasn't a lot of statements here. Bastion Rook, the one on the left side. I thought maybe because Rook repositioned in light of Knight's injury. Let's cover for Lakeside area. Eyes on this area.
Objection!
Maybe it's the fact that he knows that Rook was on the left side. That's not because that's a last-minute change. As suspected, you're more than what you claim to be, Mr. Doe. You overestimate me, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, then tell me how a simple ice cream seller knows one of the presidential bodyguard's names. What? You jest, surely. You were the one who spoke their names aloud. Rook and Knight, was it?
Objection!
We only know these names thanks to the security plan. But look closely, only their surnames appear. Yet we all clearly heard you say the name Bastion Rook. How did you come to possess such information? Information we ourselves didn't have. Seems pretty darn suspicious to me. Well, how did you know? Explain yourself. Pursuit time, yeah. The first pursuit. Oh shit. Saw something about the Knight character is the most similar name to the fan translation, but of course they kind of had to change it. Yeah. It was merely a slip of the tongue. Another lie. He is the assassin, just like we said. Come now, miss. It's a little too soon to be jumping to such conclusions. I did know their names, yes, and the reason for that is... Well, I know Mr. Rook. He and I are acquainted. What? We have something of a connection. And his is a name I could never forget. You think we're stupid, pal? Stop lying! I am not lying, as I am, as I have always been, a simple ice cream seller. And I am an acquaintance of Bastion Rook. Yes.
Objection!
Yeah, there's a reason his name... Yeah, they didn't change his name too much. Knight's name. And I suppose Mr. Rook will have to confirm that. Should be easy enough for him to remember his good friend, the slippery ice cream seller, correct? Please, you are more than welcome to ask him, although I think it might be difficult right now. I would imagine he's rather busy ensuring the President's safety. But I suppose you are able to speak with him. He does deny that he and I are acquainted. How will it help you prove that I was the shooter?
Objection!
If you weren't the shooter, then why take off your raincoat? Because it was no longer raining. In fact, it had grown quite warm. Oh, well, that answers my question. Far better to let my wound breathe, no? Or would you rather I let it fester? Is he actually going to worm his way out of this? What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Hurry up and arrest the man. He's clearly guilty. If I were you, he'd be in jail already. I mean, knowing who this character is, yeah, he would be in jail for a lot of things right now. Again, I love when the HD sprites just look straight at the screen. They're absolutely just looking at you, the player. Yeah, Payne mentioned. You might be willing to arrest a man without sufficient proof, but I am not. No, come on, Mr. Edgeworth. There's got to be something you can do. Shocking scenes here as the culprit seems all but certain to escape justice. Oh, it seems the court of public opinion has spoken. Very well. As I will clearly be viewed with suspicion, no matter what I might say, I might share what I know with you. Blah. What you know? What's his angle here? I saw them. I saw another person with a red hood. What? Are you kidding? It's the person you captured in your photograph. I first noticed them just before the president's speech began. It was still raining then. Their outfit was the same color as my own, which is what drew my attention. As did the laser beam that was aimed directly at the president's head. He's claiming there was another red-hooded person. Preposterous. I knew that if anyone saw me dressed similarly to this individual, I could fall under suspicion myself. And so naturally, I removed my raincoat.
Objection!
Why is Payne here? Because he actually explains that when you talk to him. The chief prosecutor invited him. And Payne is actually the one who told the chief prosecutor to call Edgeworth. Though I don't think they've explained that yet. I do think that comes up a little later. It's funny because Payne actually does have like an active role in what happened here. It's just that he's such an insignificant character, they don't want to focus on him. So not only did you see the assassin, but they were wearing exactly the same thing as you. How very convenient. I thought you might find it far-fetched, hence my not mentioning it until now. I know you law enforcement people are very skeptical types. You would have never have believed me. Especially not if I had said the shooter was standing right next to a certain prosecutor. Well, I know you don't mean me. I wasn't even summoned until after the shooting. No, not you, Mr. Edgeworth. Your colleague over there. Huh? Me? Yes, the photograph will prove it, I am sure. You see, right there, in front of the person with the red hood. That's me, yes, but what exactly are you saying? What's his endgame here? As I mentioned, I've been following your investigation with some interest, Mr. Edgeworth. And while pondering the details, I noticed something strange. Strange? What exactly? Come now, a man of your talents should be more than capable of spotting a contradiction such as this. I'm afraid I don't follow. The picture shows the chief prosecutor, Mr. Payne, and the shooter. Oh, that's Kay. But there's nothing weird about that, is there? Think carefully. This picture was taken right in the middle of the president's speech. One of the other pieces of evidence you've gathered is inconsistent with what we see here. What is Mr. Doe talking about? Which piece of evidence is inconsistent with this picture? Oh. It's a hide button. That's good. At least they remember that you can't pull down the dual screen stuff. Because in at least one of the games, there's an issue where you can't do that. This game is so good. Yeah, it is. What is the issue here exactly? Is it that he fired? Because I mean, I guess theoretically, whoever's in that red coat wasn't holding it in their left hand. Wait, no, that would make no sense. They're holding it in their right hand. No. Person wearing it must have an injured left arm. I don't know.
Take that!
I'm honest, I'm not entirely sure why, but I think the conflicting piece of evidence is this. Mr. Edgeworth, are you sure you really want to go around presenting stuff even if you're not sure? I don't know if that's such a good idea, sir. I took a gamble there, it didn't work out. I took a gambit and it didn't work. Fine, I withdraw the evidence. I think it's a little too late for that, don't you? Oh, it's never too late. This game might just have the best soundtrack in the series, I think. It's definitely up there. I would say this game, Ace Attorney 2, Justice for All. Justice for All, this game, I think, I don't know if I like Dual Destinies or Spirit of Justice's soundtrack more. They both have their good songs and their bad songs. And then you have Great Ace Attorney. Great Ace Attorney has such a good soundtrack. But it's also, it's like, it kind of, to me, a lot of those songs blend together. So it's kind of hard to say it's like one of my favorites. I definitely think the DS era overall has the best soundtracks. The 3DS era is good, but it's not as good, in my opinion. Though some songs are absolute bangers in the 3DS era. So I gotta play Great Ace Attorney. Oh my god, it's so good. Those games are amazing. Picture shows Mr. Payne, the chief prosecutor, and our suspect in the red coat. The president's in the middle of his speech here, thinking carefully about this moment in time. What is Mr. Doe talking about? Which piece of evidence is inconsistent with what's in this picture? I don't know.
Take that!
The gun itself? No. It's funny because Mr. Doe is making this assertion, so shouldn't it be on him to prove this? Not Edgeworth? Good night, Birdman. All right, thank you, Izana. Thank you. Hey, you have a great night too. Take care. Man, this is actually stumping me. I don't know. It's probably one of these two.
Take that!
Nope. To be honest, I'm getting hungry. I might stop the stream before I usually do. To be honest, too, I might have to. I kind of need to like maybe start ending them earlier, like not starting later and just starting earlier rather. There's nothing unusual about huh. This doesn't seem wrong.
Take that!
But it might be the right answer. Yep. Oh, of course, the tape. It contradicts the photograph. How? Ah, so you've noticed at last. What's he going on about, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, what is he going on about? Someone's missing. Someone who should be here. Huh? But who? Oh, Lloyd. Where's Tabby? I brought that up earlier, too. Who, indeed. The person who was missing from this photograph is...
Take that!
Huh? Miss Lloyd? How do you figure that? Mr. Payne's voice can clearly be heard on Miss Lloyd's tape, considering that he was conducting a private conversation with the chief prosecutor. I generally don't read... If you're new to this, I generally don't read recap text, unless it's, like, absolutely vital to the story. Just realized, were there any other big third-party DS games that came out after this one? Or was this really kind of one of the system's swan songs? I'm not sure if there were any big ones. Forgot Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 came out after this. It did in America. Because they didn't start worldwide releases with Pokemon until X and Y. I'm gonna... fix that. Pokemon Black and White 2 came out June 23rd, 2012. That's in Japan. In America, it came out October 2012. When did a Prosecutor's Gambit come out? February 3rd, 2011. Okay, so no, it was still a ways before it. This was a year before Black and White 2. Which is funny because the first Edgeworth game came out in America the same time Black and White 1 came out in America. I remember playing that, like, right after playing this game. Or playing the original Edgeworth game. Somebody thought this was a 2012 game. The fan translation was 2014, which you might be thinking of. But yeah, if you're wondering why this game never came out in English until now, it's because the game came out so late in the DS's life. Capcom just didn't want to bother translating it because they brought over the first Edgeworth game in 2010, and then, you know, the 3DS launched less than 2 years later, and I think they just didn't want to bother, which is still weird because this game came out in 2011. The 3DS was not out yet. Capcom could have done it back then. They just chose not to for some reason. I think the sales of the series were just getting poor in America. So that's also around the same time that they completely shafted Mega Man into oblivion. 2010 was like the last time we got a release in that series until 11, and the collections revived it years and years later. Oh, voice cracking. She must have been very close indeed to capture it on tape. You're right, but she's not in the picture. Precisely. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you still believe that you have been hounding the right person? Ugh. Miss Lloyd, would you mind answering a few questions? Whoa, you all fixing to put me under the microscope now? Alright, sure. Knock yourself out. I got nothing to hide. Maybe I read somewhere official statement like it would have come out in 2012 and then we thought it would be too late then or something. That's still very silly. There were DS games coming out till like 2014. Miss Lloyd's testimony. And like I was standing still the whole time. No, I was running all over, roving reporter style. And that was a big old crowd. Guess the picture must have been taken while I was in one spot and the tapes from when I was in another. So quit giving me the evil eye. Ain't nothing but a misunderstanding. My mouth is turning to mush. There's no doubt about the voices on the tape. That was Mr. Payne and the chief prosecutor, I'm certain of it. Tabby wouldn't lie to us. I know she wouldn't. But if she did, that would mean that she's our perp. We all quit messing with me, as if I could have done a thing like that. Little old me. Might be inclined to believe you if your testimony didn't contain a glaring inconsistency. It does? I thought it was pretty good. Seems like I have no choice but to present her with the evidence and expose the contradiction. Bet everyone just assumed the launch of the 3DS would have been significantly better and there'd be less need for DS games. That's true. The 3DS's launch was abysmal. I picked it up right after the price drop. Don't tell me your jacket is the same jacket as the suspect in the photo, just inside out. I notice the inside of the hood is red. Oh god. She did say it was reversible. That's not good. Oh god, what if the laser sight was from something else that she has on her? I can't remember. I guess the picture must have been in one spot while the tape's from when I was in another.
Hold it!
So the fact that you're not in the picture is to be expected. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Sure is. Caught your pals, the prosecutors, on tape while I was in one part of the crowd. And then that picture was snapped off while I was off someplace else. Look at it that way, and it all makes perfect sense. Your assertion, then, is that the picture and your recording were taken at different points in the speech? Yep, time is everything. You learn that soon enough in this line of work. So if I can prove that the two things did happen at the same time, your entire defense will come tumbling down. Haha. Sorry, I'm hydrating. My throat is getting a little scratchy. Ah. Oh, wait. President thrusts his fist in the air as the excitement reaches fever pitch. There we go.
Objection!
She mentioned the fist pump. I like how the transcript looks like there's a person named Gunn saying the words bang bang. Yeah, I brought that up earlier when it first came up. I thought that was funny too. Miss Lloyd, it's imperative for a reporter not to lie, wouldn't you say? You're danged right it is, and I don't lie. And yet the photograph and recording were definitely taken at the same time. What? You can't prove that. Oh, but I can. The evidence is right here in these pictures. This one in particular shows something that lines up precisely with when you were making your recording. Recording? Recording. What part of the picture indicates that it must have been taken at the same time as Miss Lloyd's recording?
Take that!
Can't even see the fist. Just implied. See here, the president has his fist raised. And what about it? Oh, excuse me. I mute myself there for a second. Would you be so kind as to place the tape again? No, it ain't that simple. What if I were to tell you that you don't have a choice? You don't make it easy, do you, Ruffles? Remember, we were concerned with the moment the president raised his fist. That's literally the case one. Also, that line wasn't there before. No criminal organization, no matter how big, is above the law. There, that's the moment right there. Correct, we've now confirmed when it occurred in the recording. Which means Tabby should be in the picture too. And she is, right there for all to see. Miss Lloyd, in fact, is the person with the red hood. Curious how the text in her sprite compares to the fan translation edit too. Wiki didn't have that, but I'm pretty sure they changed a bit. Really? What? I gotta look that up now. They changed? Okay, there's actually someone that did like a exact photo of these. Hold on. We can examine this in real time. Hold on. And yes, indeed, they did translate. They did fan translate or localize some of the stuff here. So originally, so they changed almost nothing in the official localization. Well, there are a couple changes. This over here, Suejo, which I'm assuming is the studios, is changed to Global Studios. Tato is kept, Pipe is kept, Goyu, anything English is kept, and anything which is letters. Let's just change to KBS. This is KBKI. That says Gatewater on the chest area. This says Bando, which is the Japanese version of Gatewater. Other than that, it's pretty similar. The fan translation replaced the Tato brand with a Toys R Us parody logo, CR Us. Goyu, which is the name of the Goyu is the Japanese name of the airlines, so it's weird that they didn't translate that, but they changed it to iFly. KBS is KB Security. That's why it's KB with the symbol there. They changed this down here to an IKEA parody, and they actually kept the chest area text the same. It says Gatewater. I can't tell what they changed this to, but it looks like it says Global Studios. So the fan translation was pretty spot on with how they would go with it. It's weird, though, because I'm pretty sure iFly is the English name for the airline, so... Oh, no, maybe they changed it to Goyu. I can't remember. But yeah, there you go. Pretty faithful no matter which one you're going with. Goyu is actually a play on the... as a pun, actually, with Goyu. Yeah, Goyu. Remember the iFly part throwback specifically, yeah. I didn't realize the KBS was KB Security, like the firm from Ace Attorney 3 that Kane Bullard. That's why it was called KB in English, because they named the guy Kane Bullard. KB. But it's funny because the fan translation actually makes it like the logo of the company, whereas this it just changes to KBS, which is also funny because almost no one's gonna get that unless they're like a big super Ace Attorney fan and realizes, oh, KBS, KB Security. That's weird. Still, though, props to both the localizers and the fan translators for doing an excellent job with what they had there. What? Oh god, I'm gonna burp. Oh, that was an that's like... You know when you gotta burp and you still, like, feel, like, air stuck in your throat afterwards? That's what that was like. Ugh. What? So you're our shooter, huh? No, I don't even own a jacket like that. That's right. From everything we know, the owner of the red raincoat is... John Doe, Tabby Lloyd, either of them. The person in the red hood was you, Miss Lloyd, and therefore the owner of the red raincoat must be... you. You are the only person it could belong to. Perhaps she could show us her injury to prove it. Huh? What do you mean? The bloodstain on the raincoat, or have you already forgotten about it already? Of course. The right sleeve has been torn off, and the button has been torn off. And then there's a bloodstain just inside the left side. That's right, from everything we know, the owner of the red raincoat is... We've already proven that the red raincoat belongs to Mr. Doe. You, Miss Lloyd, were wearing something else. Something that also just happened to have a red hood. Oh! I thought we were trying to finger her for that one. Whoops. So there are two people with red hoods all along? Indeed, Miss Doe's last statement was true. Mr. Doe, excuse me. A doe is a female deer, but not in this case. Wait, but we only found one raincoat. Where's the other one? Our ice cream seller never mentioned a raincoat, only a red hood. So tell us about your jacket again, Miss Lloyd. Huh? This old thing? Well, the best thing about it is, like I said, if you get mud and such on it, it's reversible, see? So you just turn it inside out and... Ah! Just as I thought. The inside of her hood, it's red. That's right, and when the incident occurred, that's the side of the hood that was visible. What's going on here? What were you really up to, huh, pal? Wait, I never even wore it that way round. Perhaps if you'd allow us to examine it, we could confirm that for ourselves. And y'all gonna confirm that how, exactly? It was raining right up until the president's speech, correct? That much has been established already. And as you said yourself... Heck, I don't use neither. Come rain, sleet, I already read that. You haven't reversed your parka since the rain, and the inside should be dry. Well, wait a second. I got this big old backpack on, see? So I can't take off my jacket. Yeah. Maybe I could show you all some other time? Y'all didn't get a... Talking like her still. You think an excuse like that weak... You think an excuse that weak is gonna wash with Mr. Edgeworth? Oh... Well, what are you waiting for? If you're innocent, take it off and show us. It wasn't me, I swear. I never got shot the dang president. I could never. That's true, Miss Lloyd. Then your best option is to cooperate and tell us the truth. Is there a particular reason why you chose to wear a parka with a red hood here today? I'm sorry, Ruffles. There's something I never told you about. Something I just couldn't. But I'll come clean, I promise. Just go easy on me now, you hear? Oh. Who said that? Hold your horses. It's a little too soon for the endgame. Oh. I have no idea what voice to give this guy. By the way, one of the fucking best Ace Attorney characters right here. Just putting that up front. He's really cool. He's got a lot going for him. There's a female equivalent to John Doe, a Jane Doe. Also uses a canon name for Soldier TF2 because he doesn't know. Oh. Not played this game yet. Knew something was off about that. Looking for something red after all, yeah. That goes for you too, Mr. Prosecutor. You lost this one the moment you made your opening move. That's one of the men from Kay's photograph. Base your voice on his objection sound. Oh, right! I forgot he has an objection sound clip. Yeah, this game adds objection sound clips to a lot of, like, non-lawyer characters. It's very interesting. At least a few of them. Non-playable characters. I like the JoJo pin on his lapel there. Dude's a fan of Lucky Land Productions. Guess I better introduce myself. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Look how cool he is. Wow! Name's Bronco Knight. I'm the president's personal bodyguard. His name was originally, his last name was Knightley. I can't remember what his first name was. Horace. Horace Knightley was his fan translation name, which, honestly, pretty solid change. Bronco Knight is just fine, honestly. They went way more direct with the chess reference. Bronco is a horse species, exactly. And second in command to a security detail. Rook's name, I forget what Sebastian Rook's actual first name was, but I remember Rook in the fan translation spelled R-O-O-K-E. Like, they wanted to keep the names, but like, add a couple letters to make the pun a little bit, like, less, not less obvious, but a little bit more, like, obscured with the words. Here, they're just straight up saying Knight and Rook. Ethan Rook. Okay. Rookie. Really bad triggers discipline sweeping the crowd. No wonder the guy got shot. Hardly even trying. No stars. Hey, Xi Sorry to be sad about losing some of the really good voice clips from the fan translation. Hope the new ones are good too. God. Verity, who's a character that'll show up in the next case. Their voice clip in the fan translation was so good. But I've heard the official one. It's okay, I think. I don't know, I'll have to hear it again. Ah! Point that thing someplace else, pal. What the heck is wrong with you? Sorry, can't help myself. Just too much fun being this good. You're not a member of the law enforcement, so how did you get a gun? This old girl's on loan from Zhang Fa, temporarily issued to us presidential bodyguards. Like, Edgeworth, how would you, like, you don't have to be part of the police to own a gun. Also, this dude's clearly a presidential bodyguard, so, like, why would he not have one? It's still that word. It's just obviously a different person saying it, Ayla. You'll see when we get to the next case. This old girl, okay. Anyway, never mind that. I got 2 tidbits of news for you. You want the good or the bad first? Maybe the ugly? I mean, see, I'm got the gun and all. Choice is yours. I'm indifferent, whichever you prefer. Presidential security is still law enforcement, yeah. But he's also I don't know, it's weird. It's like a private firm. PMC. Like Metal Gear Solid. This is, wow, between that and the gun spinning, he really is Ocelot. Really? You're giving up the first move advantage just like that? Whatever. Your loss. Guess I'll push out the first pawn then. So you play a little chess, I take it. Fellow fan, are you Mr. Red Suit? Name's Edgeworth, and you could say I dabble. Duly noted, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, let's start with the good news. President's okay. Didn't suffer so much as a scratch. He didn't? That's a relief. Particularly for the young lady here. It means there's no longer a murder charge on the table. That is good news, huh, Tabby? Yeah, because I'd never... Now for the bad news. The only reason the president's alive is because we bodyguards did our job. One of us did, anyway. Our boss. Put himself in the line of fire. Referring to your colleague, Mr. Rook? Yeah, it's... game over for him. No way! Rook is dead? A genuine loss. So you're saying that Tabby... Yep, your friend here killed my colleague. My brother in arms. Aw, heck no, I didn't do it. I didn't kill anybody. I could never. I'd shut my mouth if I were you, murderer. Sure, we did what we had to do. Sacrificed one of our pieces to protect the king. But to lose someone like him during a castling, it's a real shame. Chess sucks. When are they adding new pieces to update the metagame? Have you seen, I'm gonna link a, hold on, let me find it on a Steam. There's an amazing... Yeah, there it is. It's on sale, too, for half off. That necktie is choice. Yeah, it is. Yoshi's Cookie Core. Check this game out. 5D chess with multiverse time travel. It's wild. For sure. Where's my display capture? It is. So it's like a normal chess game, but like while you're playing it, you can back up, go into branching timelines where you make a different move, or the opponent makes a different move. And I forget what you could do, but there's a way to like transfer pieces between timelines. Yeah, look at this. Parallel view, history view. Move pieces back in time to create branching timelines. Send a rook to parallel dimension. Protect your kings in the present and in the past. Overwhelmingly positive. This came out almost 5 years ago. Wow. Four and a half. I may have to check that out, actually. It's only $5 or $6 right now. To get 7,000 positive reviews, that speaks pretty well to this. People have called this the Homestuck of chess, is what I've heard. And I mean, it makes sense given how Homestuck works. Updated chess, Fairyland chess, shame. Oh yeah, yours. Also aware of Checkmate Showdown. There's also Chess 2, which I believe has different pieces. My PNG tuber's gonna. Chess 2, the sequel? No. Chess 2, the sequel. Next step in the evolution... Oh, no, this came out a long time ago. Never mind. Alright, forget that. We're done looking at chess. Lose someone like him during a castling. We've already read that. Castling? What does that even mean? It's a chess term. Very simplistically speaking, it's a move where a rook switches places with the king. I know about that. I know about castling and en passant, or en passant. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's French. En passant. Then why didn't you just say so? Mr. Knight, was it? Yeah? What? We'll need to see the victim's body right away. And if possible, I'd like to ask the President a few questions, too. Sorry, no can do. And why not? That's the third piece of news, and it's the piece you're gonna like the least. Now to play logic chess. No, it's mind chess now. Which sounds so corny, and I love it. Thought you said there were only 2. The National Police Force of Zhengfa will be handling things from here. What? You better be kidding, pal! This investigation was assigned to us. We're not about to hand it over. You're V. Edgeworth, right? The one who solved the Yatagarasu case? The President mentioned you. I'm honored to have warranted his attention. Makes sense that the Chief Prosecutor would assign this one to you. Wait, did the Chief assign me to appease the President? But that was a mistake. A big one. He should have given the case to somebody with a spine. You're free to take it up with President Wang. If you enjoy diplomatic incidents, that is. President Wang? Wait, was that his name? Oh yeah, it was. Dijun Wang. Oh, we actually have the guys here. Bronco Knight, age 24, second in command of the President's security detail. Appears to be something of a specialist when it comes to handling firearms. Bastion Rook, age 35, the victim. He was the leader of the President's security detail and appears to have died in the line of duty. Triangle head. It's like Dade Man from the last game. He's got a very shaped head. Ah! You're coming with me. We'll continue this on the presidential plane. No. I never did nothing, I swear. We can do this the hard way if you like. But in Zhengfa, justice is served one way or another. Ruffles, come on. You gotta help me out here, please. Miss Lloyd. She was the one in the red hood. There's no denying that now. But I can't help the feeling we still don't know the whole truth behind this case. I'm innocent. You gotta believe me. Can I really let this happen? Is this really how it ends? The look in her eyes, the crack in her voice as she begs me to help her. This is no act by a criminal. She's genuinely scared. And if I let him take her, we'll never know what really happened. Eek! What? Huh? What the? Get your filthy hands off of... Quiet now, is that really any way to greet me? Your neck has barely begun to heal and you've already forgotten who I am. I'm disappointed. It's you! So you do remember. What do you think you're doing, pal? Put that knife down and give it up! You got some new nerve pulling a stunt like this in front of a bunch of police officers. Don't even think about it. You don't stand a chance against this guy. Who are you really, Mr. Doe? Always wanted to see animated full sprites of all the characters, because we only ever see portraits. Especially in this game with the different angle portraits, yeah. Let's just say that I'm no simple ice cream seller, despite what I said multiple times. Guy's a pro, a hitman. His name's... Shelly De Killer. De Killer? There's not a legal professional in the country who doesn't know that name. An assassin capable of taking down any target, any place, any time. This is the first time our paths have crossed. It's been too long, Mr. Edgeworth. But of course, this is the first time we've met face to face. You're the assassin we've been looking for? In a sense, yes. A certain someone did indeed hire me to carry out a contract. And that contract did indeed specify that I was to assassinate President Wang. I swear I've seen its picture in one of my old files before, but... how could I have been so careless? My bandage proved useful for bringing a knife into the park undetected. But I miscalculated in certain other regards. He didn't bring a gun. Now, shall we play a little game, Mr. Knight? I know how fond you are of such diversions. The stakes must be high in order for it to be fun, of course. Shall we wager, say, your life? What do you want from me? I would like for you to allow Mr. Edgeworth to remain in charge of the case. He what? What are you up to, Killer? I would simply like our mutual friend to see things through to their conclusion. Huh? But why? Bastion Rook was a man of great skill, one of whom I felt a certain connection. It's only right that the truth behind his death be brought to light. With Mr. Rook's departure, the case is now yours to investigate, is it not, Mr. Knight? I'm simply asking you to transfer that authority to Mr. Edgeworth. It's not something worth losing your life over, surely. You're just using the investigation as an excuse to get close to the President. Am I really? I suppose it's true that in order for the investigation to proceed, we'll need to enter the presidential plane. Think I'm gonna let you near him? I'm his chief bodyguard. Are you? And here I thought you were only second in command. Rook's not around. That means I'm number one. Wonder if you have what it takes to step into such capable shoes. You. Of course I do. I'm the leader now. Me! If that's indeed the case, then I would ask you to make a choice worthy of a leader. Will you needlessly throw away your life, or will you allow the investigation to continue? Is he really doing this to gain access to the President? Does he even need to? What is he plotting? You have no objections, I trust, Mr. Edgeworth. Come, let us continue the investigation. What do we do, sir? See, we have little choice but to do as we're told. That said, listen, detective, and listen well. But, I'll buy us some time as I investigate. Meanwhile, you gather the other officers. Have them surround the plane and make absolutely certain there is no way he can escape. Yes, sir! You got it! Is our first to be continued? Yep, it is. I'm actually going to cut the recordings here. Oh, good. Automatically highlights Slut 2. Slut 2. Oh, God. Tragic old man Yai. Not sure if Dijun is a pun or not. Wang is a proper name, but it's also just king or regal. There's probably... I could probably just look it up, honestly. Someone on the Ace Attorney wikis probably figured it out. It may be just a sound-alike pun. Like, it may not necessarily be, it may not necessarily be a, like a native language thing. His English name is based off the pronunciation of the characters in Mandarin Chinese. His Chinese name is Wang Dijun. His Chinese name is exactly the same as the Japanese one, is with the characters pronounced in Mandarin Chinese instead of Japanese. Oh, like the actual characters that represent his name in Japanese are the same in Chinese. That's why. It's just that it's pronounced differently in Mandarin than it would be in Japanese, and the English writing of his name is based off of the Chinese pronunciation. So there you go. So it's less a pun. Actually, there probably was a pun in Japanese there that I didn't look at. I don't know why I clicked off before checking. Running out of breath. His Japanese name, O, means king. His name is Taekun O. O means king, which his given name consists of the kanji for emperor and monarch. His Japanese name also fits the chess theme of the characters in the game. He's the king piece, while Bronco Knight and Bastion Rook are the knight and rook. Monosuke Naito and Gai Tojiro for rook. Fan translation name for Wang is nearly exactly the same. Yeah, because it's actually based off the Japanese name. They just straight up wrote it out. Anyway, give me just a brief moment. I'm gonna stop the recording, take a quick hydration break here, and then we'll finish this case up.